Could you check it at 10, though? Could you check it at 10? The instructions are somewhere, but I think I threw them away. Could you check? 100 lifetimes passed. A dwarven kingdom was ruled by a cult of corrupt elders known as the Diadem. They lorded over the valley between two mountain ranges called the Upper and Lower Riles. This wound in the soil became known by the people as the Crag. Insulted by death, the Diadem toyed with magic of the soul and cursed themselves and their nation into eternal unlife. Incited by the gods' inaction, an archfey of winter rose to end the blight and covered the crag and its horde in an eternal sheet of ice. Centuries later, new life has found its way to this frozen wasteland. The humans first, carving holes in the ice river Tormag and fishing its depths. the halflings felt the new and powerful natural magics and settled in the hills. The dragonkin and orcs fled their persecutions and waged war in the frozen wastes. Finally, the gnomes found silver in the upper isles and began trade between all the races of the Crag with coins shaped like a beating heart. For this reason, all those who share that eternal winter have become known as the Crag-hearted. And we are live. Excellent. Thank you all for coming and joining us. We are back for episode 3 of The Crag. I am super excited. Everything's been going really well. We had some strong character development last episode, and I can't wait to see where it goes. Couple notes. The descriptions of the people who are doing the art for the characters, for the tokens, they are inside of the description down below. But also the... what's it called? Most of the other images are done by D&D Beyond, and we just pulled them from there. And the last thing I wanted to say is that we are trying to stream it out right now. I think the stream is going pretty steady. It's a little shaky, but it's still going there. But we are going to upload the full video later. That will be unadulterated. So today we're just going to be able to go straight through. We're not going to break it up into chunks. If the stream drops, we apologize. We will just show you the video afterwards. I'll give you the link. I'll shoot it to all the different platforms. However, I will again introduce myself. My name is Apelles. I am DM Cheshire Cat, and we are running the Crag, and I'm excited to jump back in. We're just going to start by doing a quick round of introductions. Everybody, please tell me basically your name, who you're playing, and today let's do just what your character right now is thinking about. What's forefront on their mind? Don't give me no spoilers, but just what is forefront on their mind at the moment. If you can't get too detailed, please don't. But I think that'll be a great place to start. We will start with Lil Gingy. Oh, I think you're muted.
My name is Kyle. I am currently playing the character of Brom. And I would say the only thing on my mind at this point in time is to kill the she-witch.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward, and she's pretty front of mind right now. Let's head over to Raymond.
So I had to find my mute button. I'm Raymond. I'm playing Milo. Milo right now is enraptured with the dwarven runes on the axe because it's been a while since he's read some. Kind of running that through his head. This is all he's thinking about right now is trying to figure this out. He loves riddles and things like that, so trying to figure out what's going on with that axe, as well as is the she-witch that forget his name. Sorry.
Brom?
Kyle. Yes, Brom. I couldn't remember it was Brom. Okay, there we go. I was saying Brom, but I was like, that's the wrong one. There we go. So that Brom, he's wondering if Brom's target is also his next target from his conversation with Moore. So.
Makes sense. Next up, we're going to do Trevor.
Sorry guys, I had a bit of a sound issue there. I am playing Hogrum today, Hog. And from last session, I remember sort of learning about my character currently is thinking a lot about having entered into this mission, expecting a lot of maybe some subterfuge, maybe some fact finding, but did not expect to be learning about the god of undeath. So my character's a little bit overwhelmed right now, but we'll be paying attention enough to just to focus on surviving for a little while before making any big decisions.
Yeah, survival is always forefront in Crag. Let's head over to Joe.
I'm Joe. I'm playing Vaga. Vaga is extremely nervous about all of this undead tomfoolery. Right now, he is concerned that, I guess he's concerned about finding who this axe belongs to and who has been using it. And just more about why, like, you know, he has some ideas of, like, I guess he has ideas and he wants to, like, get to the bottom of it.
Definitely. And I think that's where we will start. So I'm going to hop back over here. We are going to do a quick recap, but because I don't want to be talking the whole time, Kyle has volunteered to do the recap of what has happened so far. So, Kyle, why don't you go ahead and let us know where we stand right now.
All right. So currently where we're at is at the start of last session, we all returned from a magical kind of little spot in the crag that was full of trees and wooded area. And so we returned to Vaga's house, his little hut, for some interrogation. There was a lot of soul searching and a lot of information that came to light over breakfast or through conversations that people overheard of each other. And I guess where we stand at this point is we are currently headed north to... I apologize, the map's not up for me to tell you what town we're going to. We're going north to cross a bridge to go back south. So it makes a little bit of sense. And we are going this way because there's an axe that Hog has with him, which has a riddle on it. So our characters are currently trying to solve the riddle and figure out what's going on with this massive bloody battle axe.
It sounds so quaint when you say riddle. It's like an epic poem.
I guess that's fair. I probably underplayed that.
A ballad of sorts.
I mean, but to you all, it is full of enigma and questions. But so riddle, I think, actually matches definitely. Until the history of the ballad is solved, I think it will remain a riddle. However, I am going to hop back in here. And with that recap, I think there's nothing else really to do. Are you all ready to jump in?
Ready to embark.
Absolutely.
I'm already seeing that the stream is failing completely. So that's all right. We're just going to record it and upload it later.
No.
Sounds good. So, let us...
I do love the Crag cam. That's a great touch.
It's nice. Let's see. So, let us begin.
Creepy music time.
Hell yeah.
Right. Quick question for the DM.
Not yet.
Okay.
We're about to dive in.
How dare you.
Our story starts today, not surrounded by our adventurers. Instead, we will travel east. We will soar above the clouds, drift across the icy plains, and land in the capital city of Marthak. It is a sprawling town. Buildings built of stone and decorated with sharp mammoth ribs. It is an imposing place, and nestled in many of these, in a corner of one of the squares, is a small single room school. Inside of this school, there are people of all different ages. They are adults, children, everyone who has decided to gather and learn. Learn about their past, learn about their present, and hopefully get an education enough to do more than just fight. This is one of the few initiatives that have started since the Day of Death, and many of the younger generations of the Dragonborn do not have the pulsing evil in their veins of their lich father. Dilution, time, and care has led to many Dragonborn seeing the aggressive nature of their forefathers as outdated, dangerous, and not productive. Today, they are learning. Inside of this small classroom, you see there are several people gathered. There are a few kids that are in the front. You see a very large Dragonborn male leaning against the window, clearly bored. And there are several others and a few halflings peppered in the mix, as this being one of the few schools that are opened and around. At the front of the class, a woman stands. She's a Dragonborn, wearing glasses, and addresses her small class as a whole, saying, "Hello, everyone. I think it's about time we get started. Today we have a special guest. As we study different histories and lore and time, we are privileged to have one of the capital's foremost experts on the study of humans and their history. Please, if you could, welcome Lady Calatrax." And in through the door steps a female Dragonborn. She is adorned in a very tight-fitting robe that falls down past her ankles, that bears the symbol of a white dragon head. As she steps into the room, the entire class immediately stands in reverence of this war hero. She waves a hand, and the class sits, and a glint of bronze stands right outside the door. Welcome, and thank you. I am the human research specialist for the Old Queen's army. I continue my research so that we may be able to understand and properly coexist with all of the races of the Crag. I am rubbish, you hear from the back end of the class. The large Dragonborn leaning against the wall leans over. The female Calatrax is not fazed. How's that? The teacher chimes in. "Oh, no, don't mind him. He's in training. He just needs to get his credits so that he can go on to military service." No, please. Do you have something to say?" "Well, we're clearly better than humans. We don't need to study them. They need to study us." Do you have similar thoughts about all the races?" "No, the orcs are pretty tough. If there's anyone we need to study, it should be them." "Ah, I used to think so as well. But we did quite well in combat against the orcs. It was only after the humans joined that we had some difficulty. Tell me, if you are aspiring to be a Bronze Knight, yes?" "Of course." "And if you were to face a human in your bronze armor, how do you think you would fare?" "Well, They wouldn't stand a chance. In a straight fight, certainly. But let's say you're in the wastes. You gonna wear that armor the whole time? As you travel? As you sleep? As you shit? You have to take it off eventually. And even if you do have it on, you know they'll be able to spot you a mile away. You see, the humans, they were the first one in the Crag. They know it well. They know how to hunt and forage and survive for weeks, while all we learned was how to boss some creatures around half our size. And she points to the halflings in the room. You see, a human can wait. Steal one piece of your armor at a time while you sleep. Walk across the ice, and your weight would make you plummet into its depths. Humans have magic that can affect your mind or cook you alive in that bronze armor and consume all of that muscle of yours until they have enough energy to kill your brothers. Humans use their brains. Try it. The large man stands up. He is incensed by this insult and begins to move towards the woman, but suddenly grasps his head. He screams in pain and runs into the back of the building, crashing into the wall and falling unconscious. Calatrax turns to the rest of the students. Now the rest of you... Actually, I've just received a message. I hope you all take my advice seriously, but I will have to retire early. Humans are to be understood, emulated. Their adaptability must be learned, as they are the key to bringing Dragonkin to their proper glory. And at that, she exits the room, walks past her bronze guard escorts, and begins to march through the wastes. We watch the wind blow and blow across this vast expanse of space. And the ice is constant. The cold is constant. And one man's hatred is constant. Brahm, it is your turn on watch. It is the first day traveling north, and we are about to conclude and introduce some new mechanics to travel. Food, water, warmth, and weight are the four primary concerns when traveling in the Crag. If you have those managed, the rest is just surviving what else might be out here with you. But at this time, you all are fed. You all have enough water that you have gathered from Vaga's estate before you began your journey, and you are not over-encumbered. The only question is the cold. I would like to ask all of you, did you light a fire for tonight's rest?
Well, so my question is first, it was midday, we finished our interrogations and thoughts about moving forward at the end of last game. So what time is it now? Are we leaving midday?
You all have left. I would say you've already taken one rest probably before you left, so you're at full health. Everybody's at post-long rest. But you all have been traveling a day, and it has become night again.
Okay.
Because it wasn't in-game, it wasn't too much time that morning that you all were talking.
That morning.
Yeah, so you all were able to leave that day. You took a long rest in the hut that night. You did the interrogation that morning. You headed out that day. and it has begun to become nightfall. It's already night. Would you all have lit a fire? First day out of town.
I would say yeah. I got my tinderbox, so.
Everyone else?
I'd say we
Yeah.
just have a fire because we want to melt water. Melt
Snow.
Snow.
Okay.
for water.
That will keep your water skins filled. Food is 1 pound of rations per person per day. Is 1 ration. Water, you have 4 uses of water inside of your wineskin. If you all are lighting a fire tonight, you can refill your water to full. It has 4 pints in it. Each pint is worth 1 pound, and the bag itself is 1 pound. This is how we're measuring it to make it simple. So you all are able to refill your water skins. Do make sure to mark your water skins as 4. Okay? You all did consume firewood tonight. I had mentioned that you had enough for, I think, 4 nights worth of firewood that you brought with you.
Right.
And somebody's carrying that on their backs, right? So this is wood on your back, so you don't want to, can't load up so much. So I remember you all saying you had about 4 nights, 3 for the journey and extra for just in case, if I recall correctly. So you all have consumed 1. Is that right?
Okay. I think I have the firewood
Okay.
because I have like listed on my thing. So.
All right.
And
So-
there's no trees. I'm assuming there's no trees in the visible sort of horizon.
No. You all would know that trees are quite rare. Just because the ground is ice. There's not much vegetation.
The word crag does not lend itself to sort of foresty imagery.
No, not really. No. It's just ice and death. So, you all refill your water skins. You have a fire, so you don't have to roll for food. You don't have to roll for water. You don't have to roll for cold. And you do not have to roll for weight because you all are not over encumbered. So, at this point, you all are just resting in the crags with your tents that you have taken with you. You kind of set yourselves up and you are resting for the night. Brahm, you are on watch. Please give me a perception check.
Quick question. While he's doing that, because I want to make sure I've got everything marked off correctly. So we should be marking off 1 ration for today. And
Yes.
then, since I used my tinderbox, is that a repetitive thing or is that a 1 use per?
Tinderbox can be used multiple times. It is a flint and steel, so you can use it quite a few times.
So then just marking off the 1 ration then.
Yeah, right now you are marking off 1 ration. You don't have to mark off 1 thing of water, so you have to mark off 1 ration and 1 firewood.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna 17.
Excellent. And do please say what you get because it's difficult for me to see both things at the same time. So 17. Let me take a look here. Cool. Brahm, as you are watching through the night, I kind of want to focus a little bit on what you're thinking about a little bit more. I don't think anyone is up with you right now. You're just watching out in the wastes, and I want you to just describe yourself. And we're gonna go through a couple different ways now, but describe yourself. I want you to describe what you look like. Just kind of what you're doing as you are taking watch at this moment.
So I would say that I am just sitting around the fire, staring into the flames, smoldering as much as the fire is, and just overall rather angry. I'm thinking about how nice it's going to be to finally find this Dragonborn and be able to get revenge for my family. It's the only thing that I'm thinking about.
And that smoldering fire in front of you just continues. Tonight, you all are lucky. And most nights probably will be the same. Nothing happens. There's no movement, there's no action, just the soft howling of the fall wind in the crag, and the wastes continue onward. We're just going to pick it up right at daybreak as you all begin to pack. You're still about 2 days out. I want to give you all a little bit time to talk. Travel, we can kind of skip a lot of it. We can kind of fast travel it a little bit, but unless something happens and I roll and you all come across something along the way, which can happen, but for right now, we might be able to fast travel through quite a bit, but I do want to give you all some time in the morning to chat, reconvene. What I'd like to do is just go around as the sunlight breaks. I want you to describe your character. We've described Brom. I'm going to start with Milo. We'll go to Hog, and then we'll go to Vaga. Just go ahead and describe again what you look like physically and kind of how you're feeling or setting up to continue on this adventure. We'll start with Milo.
Okay, so I've got I'm kind of waking up, pulling on my robes that I've got, the coat that I've got from the winter. It's been a while since I've been outside of the forested area because I was kind of recovering from everything that happened previously. I kind of run my hand across like my cheeks and like kind of across my head because I'm feeling to see if the cracks have widened at all. And they haven't, so it kind of makes me a little happy there that I haven't had to use that. My mind is still kind of thinking about the axe as the day goes on, as the morning comes in, and like, okay, well, we're going north, and we're going north. We gotta go south, and then do we really need to go south? Like, I don't know. Like, is this in my inner dialogue is, you know, or which item should we really be looking for in that passage that we got? That's kind of where I'm at right now with everything. I did want to know if it was possible for me to roll for a poison vial for the previous day.
Sure.
It died on me. It's an alchemy, right?
Yep. Well, poisoner's kit. Yeah.
7. So I think that was a negative for that previous day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, you get some poison in you, and it's not great.
Okay.
We'll see how that works.
Nothing.
Nothing. Next up. that was the.
Well, that's what I was asking.
Actually, give me a con save with advantage, because you're a halfling, stout halfling.
Yeah. 16.
16.
And then I rolled a natural one for the second one. So.
Oh boy, good. As you're sitting and you're trying to just your mind is racing, and Izzy lands on your shoulders for she's expecting it, right? Her normal milking procedure, and as you are just kind of trying to put it into there, your brain put the tip of her tail into one of your vials. Your brain is just not focused, and you kind of pull a little hard, and her tail just whips a bit and hits you on your hand, and then she runs down your hand and curls and tries to lick your hand a little bit to try to pull it out some, but you're fine. This has happened before, but you do not gather another vial for today. Hovram, we're gonna come over to you.
Hovram is also sad that Kyle took the smoldering option first, because I'm probably also a bit smoldery. But Hog is sitting quietly by the fire. Hog is an orcish fellow, folk with black hair, sort of lightish green skin, not having realized how yes, it's cold out here, but you can still get sunburned maybe. So is sort of wrapped himself up, and is already, the furs that he's already wearing is sort of like pulled tighter around his head, and he's watching the water boil, thinking about how thirsty he is. All these axe Riddles is really got him thinking about sort of what he's getting into, because he definitely didn't think about how serious all of this was. But he has sort of always been not conceitedly so, but expected that he would have to serve a greater purpose than just fighting this guy or convincing that person of such and such. And this is the first time he's felt sort of hope in a long time, to really feel like he has a purpose, to find out what this giant's bridge is, so with a more refined sense of purpose, and cold, he's staring straight into the fire.
Certainly. And we'll move on to Vaga.
Okay. Vaga is a high elf. He has this dark chestnut skin, golden eyes, and currently his hair seems to have like grown very long, and he has like sort of braided it and is using it as a scarf as he's like gearing up for the winter weather, or I guess the cold weather. He's gathering all the supplies. He takes like one last look at the fire and sort of holds out this medallion, starts to say a few names, and right now he's feeling that sort of nervous excitement where after all this time, he finally has a lead and he's excited to pursue it. But at the same time, he's nervous because he's not sure about the current, mission of this group. He's not certain that he can trust this group fully. And he's nervous if he can confront this undead force that's out there.
Definitely. And you all begin to pack. I want to take a moment, Kyle. Could you again physically describe your character? I'm not sure if we did that. I just want to, for the record, say what it looks like.
Yeah, I am approximately 6'6", I think, is what I've been saying. About 350 pounds of solid muscle. Similar to Icelandic descent. Pale skin, built for this terrain.
Yeah, born and bred. And at this point, it is morning. You all are packing up your supplies, dousing the fire, and preparing for your continual trek north. Is there anything you all want to say before you head out? And so you march out into the cold. We will see if anything happens during the first day of trip. Let's go ahead. I'm going to quickly reorient everyone. There we go.
Is it map time?
You all, yep, it's map time.
Yeah.
So you all are at Almanac. At last count, the plan was to head from Almanac up to Mesapique, across the Bridge of Bouts, and then from Yornal down, probably around past here to here. You might go through Leron, you're not sure yet, but the map on the axe was basically saying that whatever it was is in the mountains, where the mountains meet the base of the river Tormag on the east side. So this is where you all are suspecting that to happen. Whatever it is that this axe is leading you to. The axe has several warnings on it along the way. It has beware this, beware this, beware this. In fact, can I just have someone volunteer? Let's do Raymond again to just please read the entirety of the acts out while I prepare what happens next.
Oh, sure.
So that way everybody is on the same page and we have a nice reminder of what has happened so far.
In character or out?
In, please, because I'm pretty sure you have been fretting over it.
Yes, I have. Let's see here. Take heed to you who hold Mehron's axe, foremost of Moradin's forgotten. In time you'll know of his woeful blade and the pain that it's begotten. In the lurid light of the golden eye, where beams of sunrise bends, at the peak of the creek, at the crest of the mountains that meet where Tormag ends. May glass be the window and metal the key. May you enter the sleep of Pathways 3. Pathways 3. Okay. May you learn that secret to living eternally lie not in lichdom, but in history. Beware the eye that never blinks. Beware the golden ridge. But most of all, till end of time, beware the giant's bridge. Mesor and Orcus watch and wait to see what may. Shall we rise to cold dark night, or at last descend to day? And just randomly, guys, I have those last 4 lines there. Like, part of me is like, and I know I kind of follow Mesor, so I'm a little one-sided on this, but do you think the cold dark night might have something to do with Orcus like killing everybody, and Mesor possibly being the savior of the Crag or something? I mean, you guys saw the forest. There's nothing like that in the Crag. At least I've not seen anything else like that.
The cold dark night does tend to be a metaphor.
As someone who worships the sun, I do believe that I am on Mesor's side as well. I am concerned, though, why he watches and waits to see what come what may.
Well, he did say it lies not in lichdom but in history. And if memory serves, the old Orc King tried to be a lich too. Didn't he? Like, he had some type of powers from the lich or something? And then also the Dragonkin had gotten some power that they came to be because of a lich. So maybe this is like a higher than us thing. Maybe this is like on a celestial plane. We're just their like champions, like duking it out down here for them.
If I may correct you, my friend, the Orcish necromancer was no leech.
Okay. Well,
Hog,
Yeah.
as a half-orc, what do you...
Orc.
How do people see Kronos?
You said what?
Leadership
Go ahead.
is a difficult firearm to aim. And many aim poorly. Kronos, I believe, fired in the complete wrong direction. I respect his ambition, but he led the people down a path that could not be lit. And now many of the people still remain in that darkness.
At that point, could everyone please give me a perception check?
Question: would Izzy have been hovering around?
Yeah,
22.
Izzy can take one too.
Izzy can take one. Okay.
10.
Okay. Perception is.
I've got a. Milo's got a 12, and Izzy has a 11.
Yep. Okay. So at this point, it is Brahm and Vaga who notice. As you all are walking through the wastes, traveling for quite a bit, just marching through the day, at this point ahead of you, you see a group of tents that look as though they are covered in snow, but they are up above. And you notice them ahead of you in the wastes.
Izzy has a passive of 13, just so you know.
Up on a hill?
Not on a hill. The wastes are mostly flat land until you all start getting closer to the riles. Right now it's pretty flat. So you can very clearly see it out ahead of you. Just kind of peeking out of the snow in the horizon.
Milo. And I sort of like lean him over and I like point out. There are tents ahead. Perhaps your little friends could be of use. To slid there through the snow.
Yeah, I'll kind of whistle for her and signal her to go scout. You said roughly how far?
I would say at this point about 600 feet away.
600?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me a stealth check, Frizzy.
Frizzy.
You all can see quite far out, right? It is wastes, flatland, Kansas, but ice.
So Kansas.
In the winter.
23.
23.
That's the subtitle for our entire campaign: Kansas but ice. The Crag.
I mean, kind of.
Mindset.
As she sneaks, she said you said you got a 23 on that.
23.
Okay, she makes it quite close, and she flies nearby, and she notices a couple things. One, it looks like it was a small camp. There is no fire there. There's no movement at all. And you see a few creatures just laying on the ground. There's no movement, but you can make out that there are two halflings and a dragon-kin body and two humans.
Okay. So I've got a question. Because I can only converse with her, or even telepathically, up to 100 feet, she would have to come back to tell me that.
Yeah.
I know we're still probably walking that direction. Can I send her back to check if they're dead?
Sure. She heads back. And I'll let you keep the stealth check. She sneaks down because it was pretty high. She gets pretty close to them. And, yeah. Looks like they've been dead for some time. All of them.
Okay. And then I have her come back, and then I have her do like just an arc, kind of circling us until we get there.
Sure.
About 100 feet out, just like telepathic with her.
Okay. Do you all continue to approach?
Yeah.
Stealthy? No?
I mean, as stealthy as we can be walking across the icy Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Stealthy as a tornado, basically.
Right.
I think Hog is probably not in front right now, despite his renewed sense of purpose. Sort of following following the lead of the lizard, the reptile, dragon.
Dragon who's out front. Well, Dragon is circling. She can fly.
Dragon circling on top. Yeah, he is. Is he circling us right now at 100 feet just to give us a perimeter for us in case something comes towards us?
Sure.
I'll be third in line, so I'll stand behind Hulk.
I'll go last.
So right now it looks like Braum,
All right, Braum.
Braum,
Like
Hog, Milo, Vaga. Sound right?
we defined our marching order.
No,
Everyone
I'm a
after
physical
Braum.
tall giant with a giant Roman brass shield. Okay, there's no stealth anymore, just to be clear.
That's fine.
That's fine. You all approach.
They're all dead, so.
As you all get closer, you make it closer to the camp. It's about 120 feet away now. Still no movement.
Okay.
You all are about 90 feet away now.
I think we're all still in the mode of like checking our abilities and spells, making sure like
what I can do.
Oh no, I didn't prepare it.
Can I do a perception check as I get closer? I mean, like.
Yeah, you rolled a pretty good one as well before. As you look over, yeah, it looks like there is a camp, has quite a few people, and they look like they are dead.
Question: as Milo, because he's used to seeing this type of stuff happen out here. Yeah, is there any outcropping that someone could be hiding on within, I'd say, a 60-foot radius of this encampment?
Nah, it's flat.
Like a crag or just flat, all flat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can Milo dip off to the right, like just kind of break to the right and stealth towards, like, to flank the side of the camp?
Sure. Give me a stealth check.
Sure. Yeah, that's a 6.
So Milo thinks he's pretty stealth. And you all just see him walking over, going like, stealth.
Pull the crunk.
Just go, no, you're doing great. You're doing fantastic, and you sneak off to the right.
I would like to cast a message to Milo.
Sure.
And I sort of whisper, Milo, be wary. This may be undead ambush.
I'll keep that. Yeah. You always remind me of that stuff. All right. I'll keep that in mind. Thanks. I'm just gonna swing around here and in case, just in case.
You all are aware that in the Crag, because of the residual necromantic energy, occasionally there are zombies that wander the wastes. So his warning is not unbased.
Right.
But you all continue approaching. You're about 60 feet away now. Anything else?
I think Hog approaches slowly, sort of. I'm going to ready an action. If anything attacks me, I'll be ready to fight it. I have my weapon drawn, but other than that, I don't think I'm going to stop. Really, I'm moving forward with a sort of
readied actions for combat.
Purpose, yeah.
Sounds like. Is everybody pretty ready in action for combat?
I'm going to ready action protection fighter. So if anybody tries to attack anybody behind me, being within 5 feet, I'll block it with my shield.
Sounds good. You'll be able to cover both Hog and Vaga. But Milo is kind of stealthed off.
Well, that's what he gets for walking off.
I mean, yeah, but that's fine. You are about 30 feet away now. Anything else?
I'm ready to crossbow bolt.
Okay. You all are in the camp. It is quiet as death. And for now, everything is still.
Can I see if these have been dead a long time?
Give me a medicine check.
If I want to check like two things, should I roll like an Arcana roll and an investigation roll, or I want to see sort of if there's anything, if I can detect anything magical, sort of about this sort of wreckage of a campsite, and I also want to just generally physically look at the bodies and see if I can find any loot.
Sure. Joe, what'd you get first?
Yeah. There was a delay, so I clicked it twice, but the first one was 12.
12. Okay. Go ahead and roll both Arcana and Investigation, Trevor. I'm sorry, Hog. While you are doing that, Joe, you look at these bodies, and you can tell that they are not fresh. They've probably been here for some time. Looks like perhaps a hunting party.
But okay, can I know Hog is investigating. Can I insight as to like why there's a dragonborn and a few humans together? Like why would they be hunting together?
Give me a history check.
While they're doing that, can I ravage his body for extra supplies?
We'll see in just a second. First, Trevor, what'd you get for your investigation?
I rolled a 4 for Arcana, so I'm not sensing that. I'm not feeling that magic. Investigation was a 14, so
14. As you look around the bodies, and go ahead, Milo, because I think you were
Can I ask a
planning on
question
doing that too.
before you define what I get for the roll? I want to look at if the Dragonborn or the Dragonkin rather are wounded by what looks to be the human weapons, or the humans are wounded by what looks to be the Dragonkin weapon.
Sure.
So I'm sorry.
So I think that's what you're looking for, Milo. I think you're looking specifically for loot. So give me an investigation roll separately. And while you're doing that,
Vaga got an 18 on the history check.
Excellent. While you're doing that, Hog, you look and there don't seem to be any external wounds on any of them. No holes in their clothing or armor. And as you're looking around, it does not seem as though there was a struggle of any kind.
And how many bodies again?
2 dragonborn. I think it was 2 dragonborn, 2 halfling, and 2 human. So 6 total.
Yeah. Milo got an 8 on his investigation.
Sure. You would probably go ahead, Kyle.
I want to search the tents. I just want to get I want to search the rest of the camp.
Okay. Give me investigation.
Awesome. 16.
Sweet. Milo, you don't find too much. You can see that they do have some spears, right? Specifically the Dragonborn, they have some spears. You see the halflings, they do have some crossbows that they have been using.
I'm taking those.
You're just going to take the whole crossbows?
Do they have just bolts?
They have some bolts too, yeah. You can take bolts or crossbows.
I'll take the bolts, unless the crossbow looks like it's better than mine.
Crossbows look like they've been out in the cold for a long time.
Yeah, so I'll just take the bolts.
Okay. You would get about 20 bolts.
Okay.
Brom, as you investigate, you would find roughly there's 253 Crag hearts just in your looking around. So they did leave their silver there. You would also find that there is no firewood. And you would find that all of the water skins are empty. They don't have ice inside of them or anything like that.
Can we take those? Do they look in good condition?
They do.
How many are there?
6.
6. You guys want to split those up? Just in case we need extra water?
Yeah.
Okay.
Extra water skins? They're empty, right?
They're just empty water skins right now, but I figure when we camp, we can fill those up.
It looks like these travelers were. I don't suspect any foul play. I think maybe they were at the end of a long road and they didn't make it further than that.
On your history check, Vaga, you would know it has been 10 years since the end of the war. It is very likely that people are working together, and you have heard a lot of camaraderie is actually built around the connection between Mesapique and Yornal. Of all the different towns that exist, they probably would be the most friendly towards each other. The war has ended, and you can tell that a lot of places did not want war anymore, right? And they don't harbor that racial hatred that they used to, I would say. So you just looking from the supplies and kind of the material that's there, and you know Mesapique and Yornal are strong trade locations, that probably this is just a hunting party from Yornal that maybe got lost or were confused somehow, and something happened out in the wastes that led to their demise. Your medicine check also would show that they are definitely not. They were not stabbed. Like there's no puncture wounds. There's no bite marks. And I would say, everyone, give me a nature check, please.
Yeah, sure. I cannot hear you really.
Oh no! Oh no! Hold on!
Oh, everything
is that better?
No, we good. That's perfect.
Okay, cool. Basically, I said that people are from Mesapique and Yornal are probably the most peaceful in the area, and there's not as much racial tension between them. So you're pretty sure, just based on that and the kind of gear that they have, that they are from. They're probably from there.
Okay.
Um,
Perhaps, yes, they were out hunting. They did not find anything.
give me a nature check.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, someone knocked at the door.
It's fine.
Wow. 21 for Vaga.
Sweet.
Well done.
From your experiences as well, there should have been predation. Right? These bodies have been sitting here for a long time.
But why? But why have scavengers not picked them up? This is unsettling. I start to I take my mace out and I nudge one of them. I nudge a halfling.
You nudge him. Nothing happens.
I'm assuming that we've been trading all the information from our investigations and things as we've been looking through stuff.
Sure.
What Hop said earlier was that there weren't any holes, puncture holes like fight. It wasn't a fight or anything like that. Was that right?
Correct.
Can I do a poison check on either the wineskins or them? What would you want me to roll on that? Medicine or
roll your poisoner's kit.
Okay.
Really a good idea to check for poison before we use the wineskins.
It's just 10.
10. I would say you're not entirely sure what happened, right? But based on what's around, you're pretty sure this was poison on all of them. And either it is an introduced poison or a pathogen, something they have picked up. I'd say probably they did not have any firewood, right? And it looks like their water skins are low. it could be something that they picked up from unboiled snow. Because you don't see there's any. You're confident it was ingested, whatever it was, because there's no puncture wounds or anything like that. So it was probably something that they did ingest. But they are. It was. They are dead.
And they are plump enough to not have clearly, obviously starved, right?
Yeah, it does not look like they starved. No.
2 questions.
Sure.
Question 1: Can I do a check on their water skins to make sure that the water skins that we picked up aren't contaminated?
That's what I was going to
You
ask.
could try medicine check.
Nope, not one.
Nah, you don't. You have no idea. What are you looking
That checks
for?
out.
And can I look to see if they're all the same brand? Like, do they have a marking on them that they're all coming from the same place or anything?
No, not well.
Maybe like the same store. They got them from the same store, and that was their brand or something.
Hold on. I think they might. Hold on.
They're all like fantasy 7-Eleven bottles.
Well, I'm just saying, if they got it from the same spot, it could have been they were intentionally poisoned through the skins.
Trademark law in the Crag, I know, is very particular.
It gets sticky sometimes, Fox. We were having that conversation yesterday.
No,
I'm telling you, man.
7-Eleven. You never know if that sandwich is going to treat you bad.
No, there's no trademark marks. They do seem of
It's
similar
like
make.
7-Eleven
But there's no
sushi. You don't do it.
trademarks.
Okay.
Okay. Too real.
I have one other question about them.
Sure.
Do they seem like healthy enough that we could eat?
Bro, I'm asking the
real
question.
questions.
Question.
I don't know what's
I
coming.
would say from
and what their story bodies.
from Vaga's check earlier, animals have not eaten them. You probably
Checks
shouldn't
out.
even
Pass.
I wouldn't touch
Bro,
them.
I think if
Where
we're
you
not
coming
going to
from?
use
But if the animals out here ain't touched it, you probably don't want to eat that. And I got a faint feeling there's some poison at work here. Just trust me on this one. I have a faint feeling there's some poison at work here. We don't know what it was or how. Unfortunately, can't figure that part out. But something killed them that wasn't. Yeah, and it killed all of them.
I'm gonna
So no matter nobody's immunity.
bodies together.
Sure.
In terms of our greater mission, like we've been looking at these bodies for a bit. Like, it's still midday? Do we still have traveling time, or how are we feeling? What's
You
our
still have some more time in the day. I'd say it's about 2:00.
And we've checked for loot and stuff. I wanna sort of like not metagame, but sort of like look at the bigger picture. Like, what can we glean from this campsite? And if there's nothing to find, should we move on, and how quickly?
Yeah, I got bolts. We were gonna take the water skins, but we're not sure if it's the skins that are poisoned or the people, so we may leave those. And then it was like 300 something Crag hearts that I think found 353 that Brom found.
253.
253. Okay.
DM, is it sunny out?
Not really, no. There was a storm, not last night.
If I use a Sacred Flame cantrip, can I set these bodies on fire or no?
It would
What
take a
we're
while,
talking about.
but you could.
I support the
Huh?
cleansing.
It would take a while.
Yeah.
Because you'd have to just sit there because Sacred Flame is like a booth, right? So you would have to just sit there again and again and again and again and again.
How long would it take? I don't want to be doing this for a long time.
It would take probably about 20 minutes.
One quick question, and then I can help that by you. What are the tents like? Are they nicer than the tents that I have?
Yes.
Okay. I swap my tent with one of their tents, and then 2, I'm happy to.
I would say actually,
I'll use fire.
because you were looking before. I would say also the human, one of the humans, has a white wolf coat.
Like my size-ish?
You're a big boy. Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say it would fit. It wouldn't be a tight fit, but it would fit.
Puts it on. It's like wearing his pretty girlfriend's sweater, you know, when it's like too big for you.
It is not, what's it called? It's not clean, but as you put it on, you notice that it is very, very well insulated. That will give you advantage on checks versus the cold in winter weather.
I'll take that. And then I guess I will pile the bodies onto my tent. And are you guys swapping tents? Or are you guys keeping? What are your plans on those?
If the tents are better than ours, how many were there?
There would be 1, 2 for the Dragonborn. Humans would share. Halflings would share. So 4. So yeah, I guess
we could each take one.
Better tents. We have better tents now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll just kind of stack the people on top of the tents and just cast Firebolt on the tents to light everything on fire.
Yeah.
Cool.
I stand there and I'm giving them a prayer for the afterlife.
Definitely.
I don't care about that part.
Wait. Grom casts Firebolt?
So, you all stack the bodies up inside of this thing, and he puts some tents as kindling around them, and then you see Brom with his shield, like he kind of puts his shield on his back, and then holds his hand out towards the fire, mutters a few words, and a bolt of fire shoots from his hand, and it hits the pyre and ignites.
DM, can I ask, hopefully not too revealingly, like, I've been traveling with Braun the longest. Have I seen him do anything like this before?
Probably not, no.
All this time, no. Okay.
It's possible. It's possible. It would depend on if we had stuff to start fires.
Yeah, but like for the most part, I feel like Braum would use just like normal stuff for most things, unless
if we had them, yeah.
But this is like a large pyre here, so.
Yeah, this seems very different than like a normal little like. No big deal.
Yeah, and
I imagine like I was starting to like try to do Sacred Flame, and it just wasn't going. Braum.
But like also, Braum is very secretive, right? He doesn't talk much. He doesn't like. I feel like it's very within Braum's character to have not shared at all. I feel like it's very, very much so in his character to have done that.
You don't worry about it. So yeah, I ignite a funeral fire.
Fire.
Yeah.
With your hands.
We need
character voices.
I'm trying to do I realized like I can't do a deep voice like ever. It's just not going to work. So I'm trying to put an effect on my mouth.
I was more talking to Kyle.
Just doing my best.
Oh. Vaga was trying to light fire.
Who is correct? You've created you've created fire. Okay, well, gonna be impressed.
Quick DM question.
I think at this point, Hog is sort of looking to like
move on.
Folks, should we move on? I don't get such a bad feeling about this place. It seems that maybe they were poisoned, and I think it is wise that we treat these bodies with care and help them properly shuffle off this mortal coil. But I think we should also shuffle off this campsite.
I concur.
Thank you, Doctor.
Complete. We should move.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's keep pushing.
All right.
I'm in agreement.
You all continue on into the night. Before we do that, Milo, did you have any questions there?
Nope, figured it out. I was trying to get the weight of a tent to put in my stat sheet, so I kept track. It's 20 pounds.
I should probably add that.
Yep. You all head further, and second night, do you all, do you all light a fire?
Is this you said second night?
Second night,
sure?
Yeah.
Second night.
You're pretty sure come tomorrow.
3 nights to the place, though.
Yeah, 3 nights. So there's going to be one more night after this.
Okay.
And we had 4 days worth of firewood.
I feel like I did, but I don't know where, I don't know when, but I'm gonna sneeze. I feel like I would advise us to use the fires only to boil water. Otherwise, are we warm enough, like with our skins and stuff? Can we save on firewood?
You can. If you choose to save on firewood, you will just take... you'll have to roll versus the cold. It's a DC 10 check. On which...
I'll do that.
Oh.
Yeah, but you can.
Wait, do you already check?
He's got a
You all have lived out here for a while. But that is a way to save on firewood or spread it out. Your thinking process is right.
We're heading toward Mesapique, right? So
yeah.
I mean, if we're only a couple days away, I think we'll start a fire just to be safe. I don't want to leave exhaustion up to the rolls tonight. So yeah, I'll start a fire.
Sure.
Maybe like as I'm putting the wood together, I'll put it in a pile and then I'll walk over to it, and as I'm about to light it with my little, I'll look over at Brahm. Brahm, would you like to?
No.
No, you would not.
No.
Okay. And
can do it, but won't do it.
Can but won't. Duly noted. Yeah, I'll light it.
Sure. You all light the fire. You all take watch. Basically what we're going to do is, I assume that it just circles through watches. So, I will kind of just, because travel, we're going to be doing a lot of it. So I'm just going to roll to see who it happens to be on watch if something does happen. Okay. Just because I feel like you all will take turns for watches. Milo. All right, guys. I know we had trouble getting in. Do you all feel comfortable disconnecting and getting back into the chat?
I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
To the Discord, should we hang up? Should we move out of the Discord room, or?
Yeah, just head out of the Discord
I'll
room.
just restart Discord.
I will put a chat into the Discord when it's time to come back in. Everybody but Milo.
I mean, we all just come back to this channel anyway. Right? We have the channel saved.
Yeah.
So we just log back in. Okay.
Certainly.
Okay,
Everybody but Milo. I want to talk to Milo.
Banger, guys. No, don't leave me, guys. No, don't do it. No, it's not worth it.
Milo.
Yes.
You awaken in a field of familiar grass and wheat, and you are sitting on a stump looking at the sky. Go, Holgram. Go. Get out. Go. Shoot.
What? Oh, I just did. I'll do it again.
Cool. You wake up and it is peaceful and warm. And you hear, Silas! Silas! And you sit up, and you see a dwarven girl calling you from the fence posts.
I'll look back around. This is like the second time I've had this dream now.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'll stand up to kind of see if it's the same person. I'm assuming it sounds like the same person, so I'll look to see if it's her and what she's doing.
It is. She's calling you for dinner.
I'll be there. I'll be there in a minute. Just give me 1 minute. Are the runes still on the stump from last time?
Yes.
Dwarven engravings? Because I know I didn't read them last time. Can I make those out now?
Milo is the first word. You have found the forlorn, the forgotten, and the fooled. Excellent. Follow them to the vault of the converted. Bury the past in my grove, and I will finish what I have started.
Okay.
The sky breaks. There's that flash of lightning in the distance again.
Do I remember the sister's name? I don't right now, but would?
I don't remember either.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't think you ever asked.
I did. I don't think I did. I think I remember the mom saying it though, or something like that. That's what I thought. That's fine. I'll wait for her to come to me.
Give me a persuasion check.
That is a 10.
Come on. We don't have time to play out here. We gotta head inside. It's dinner time. And she turns around and heads towards the house.
And that storm is still brewing in the center of town like last time.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything can I investigate the trunk to see if there's any way I can open it, or that there's anything around it, a hole, anything else written on it?
Give me an investigation check.
Okay. $16.
There is a shape in the side of the stump. Down the side of it, past what you think may be buried in the stump that you are familiar with. But here it is plain. It is a hole that goes into the stump. And it is rectangular in shape. Very precisely rectangular.
And I assume there's nothing, I have no pockets or nothing on me right now that might be rectangular.
Nothing that you have. You're you in this dream.
I'm actually Milo this time?
You were Milo last time.
I thought you said I didn't recognize myself.
You did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Does it look like the back end of the axe would fit there, or is it bigger?
I'm sorry?
Does it look like the back end of that axe, of Morin's axe, would fit into it? No. Okay.
Very different shape.
Okay. I will.
You will turn around and see the sky split, and that blood pours out of it again. But this time, on a building far away, you see standing a man. He is roughly 10 feet tall, 13 if you include the large caribou-like antlers that go back from his head and up. In one hand, he holds a book that is open, and in the other, he holds a long, pointed sword. He looks up at the head of Orcus that begins to break through the sky again. And as he leaps towards the skull, ice and snow fall behind him. And you wake up. All right. I'm going to get everybody back on.
All right. You're on mute. Good acting though.
My trance is over.
Oh, you're up. Oh.
Vaga, because you're the first back in, Vaga, we're going to say it's you. You wake up because you trance, you don't sleep heavy, and it's your shift. As you get up and you start heading towards, I'm pretty sure at this time it would be Hog, who is on watch. But as you get up to go take your shift, you walk by and you see Milo is also awake. And he looks a little like he's breathing a little bit heavy. And then...
Milo, you did not drink out of that water skin. We talked about it. It's poison.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even see it. You get up there. No, I didn't. No. I'll have to talk to you later. I'm not sure. Yeah, I think that axe is the key to something. I don't know. Let me think about it. I'll fill you in. I always do. I gotta think about this for a little bit.
Very well.
Sorry, I logged in super slow. Did I miss anything important? A couple sentences or?
No, really. You were out on watch. Vaga is going to relieve you, and he stopped and looked into Milo's tent a bit, and he's going to relieve you of your watch, your night watch.
Oh, okay.
And he stops in Milo's tent a little bit, and you hear a little bit of conversation, and then he comes to relieve you of your watch.
I'll signal Izzy to come back, and she curls up next to me.
Yeah. She's happy to do so. She's often doing surveillance at night, so she's happy to just have a night where she's curled up.
Yeah.
But the night goes on. The watch concludes. There's not too much out. Vaga, give me a perception check.
Okay. A big old 9.
Excellent. You don't see anything at all. The night concludes, and the next day has come. You all are able to travel again. Anything before we head out?
So was I like last shift or did
I would
Brom
say
go
so.
after?
I would say your last shift.
Okay. Okay.
Because you only
Fair
need
enough.
4 hours of sleep anyway, so. Yeah. Anything before you all head out? Okay. You all head on your last day of travel. It is pretty well, let's find out if it's uneventful. Yep, pretty uneventful. You all march on into the next night. Are you all setting up fire for this night or not? You're pretty sure tomorrow you're going to come across Mesapique.
Yeah,
And that's a trade city, right?
Yeah, it's probably one of the largest towns aside from any of the main race strongholds, right? Like there's a few other racial strongholds that exist for the orcs, the dragonkin, the humans, the halflings, and the gnomes. Those are probably the only other towns that rival Mesapique and Yornal in size.
I guess I was thinking like, oh, we have lots of Crag hearts. We're a day's journey from a big town where we can resupply, and we haven't seen anything that would make us want to be careful. So
Yeah.
I think I'm in favor of
I'm going to agree with him.
Cool. Light a fire. All right. You all light a fire that night. You rest. You're down to 1 pack. At this point, you all are looking for a specific thing. So after this, nothing happens in the night. You all sleep peacefully. And I need you all to just roll a survival check. Now that you've traveled this far north, you want to make sure that you find Mesapique.
that one.
11.
16.
Sweet. Milo, you kind of lead the pack, and you have lived in Almanac for a bit. You're pretty sure as long as we just follow the river, we'll make it there. And you kind of guide them to make sure you're following the ice river, but not so close that you're accidentally standing on ice river, right? Because that's not great. But you all make your way farther north, and quite clearly, you can see it before you arrive. You see a large wall. It's maybe 15 feet high. That is in front of you. And you can tell that is probably the wall of the city Mesapique. Or the town, I guess, the town of Mesapique.
So what's the wall made of? Is it
stone? It looks like it is stone. And you all would probably tell that it was it must have been imported here from either the northern or southern Riles, the upper or lower Riles, right? So you can tell there's stone on one side of the river. You can tell there is a bridge between the two, and there's stone on the other side. You all are on the west side in the town, approaching the town of Mesapique, and you see there are 2 guards that are standing. There's a few patrols and a few people on top of this wall, and you can see that there are a few guards standing by a gate. And you can see there are groups of people who are ahead of you. Not too many, it's still pretty sparse, maybe 2 or 3 from the north that are coming in through this one main gate into Mesapique. As you all approach Mesapique and begin the next leg of your adventure, we are going to take a quick break. So we're going to take, it's 3:10 now. We'll just take, we'll say 10, we'll call it at 10. Be back at 3:20, and we'll dive into Mesapique. Sound good, everyone?
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Just what's up?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Got some cheesy bread. Munching on that.
From Little Caesars?
From Papa John's.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I love cheesy bread.
Cheesy bread's amazing.
I'm
What is cooking you all were talking about?
Greetings.
Trevor, bring him back without Trevor.
Yeah.
That was great.
Good
That was
talking
great.
Okay. Goof is
That was really dope. Did you ask him if he was sober?
Huh?
Of who? What?
I definitely thought somebody just asked Trevor if he was sober.
Oh, wow.
Not entirely. No. I don't know.
He said, don't tell nobody.
Are we on stream? We're fine.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Remember, this isn't about the stream; it's about us. So.
Right.
True that. I just don't want to chew in your ear real quick. I'm almost done.
Then don't do it.
So, because I was working from home stuff, I decided to be more health conscious. I got me one of those big exercise balls. Well, I thought it was a big exercise ball, so I can sit on it instead of my chair. Yeah, it's like 45 centimeters in diameter, though, not height. I was like, y'all played me. Y'all basically played me. So I'm sitting here, right. So I'm sitting here Indian style right now on the ball. It's great. It's wonderful, but it's like I was hoping for it to have a little more, a little more height to it. There you go, Trevor. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. If you like lift your legs up, you just go. Ooh.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping for, but it's too small. So yeah.
Is that a screwdriver?
Sometimes the balls are too small.
Right.
I can't relate.
Well played.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I've never heard that, but that's fantastic.
I didn't hear what he said.
Hashtag can't relate.
Oh yeah, I was being a douche.
I love that. All right, let's head. I'm gonna turn the cam back on. They can hear us, but they just can't see us right now.
Oh.
Aha! There we are.
So no context for anything.
Yeah.
No. Awesome. We're back. Travel through the waste has ended, and you all have arrived at Mesapique. It's a stone-walled town. You would figure maybe less than 1,000 people live in this town, but that's a lot. That's a lot for the Crag, right? If you measure anything in more than dozens, it's a very large place.
I have a question. Can we, from one side of the town, well, no, there's a wall, huh? I was going to ask if we could see the other side of the town.
Not really, no.
Okay.
But you see that there is a main gate that leads in, and there are 2 guards stationed there, as well as some that are on the walls just doing patrols. They are both dragonborn.
One more time for clarification. I'm looking at the map now. Which side is the Dragonborn capital? Is it Marthark or Deknorn?
Marthark.
Marthark, okay. And then Deknorn, I'm seeing, is also similarly sort of fossilized, a fossil ruin sort of icon. But is that?
That is the Orcish capital. Yes.
That's the Orcish capital. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So you all are on the west side of the River Tormag at the moment, entering to Mesapique there. Sorry. What would you all like to do? Same marching order? Are you going to let Braum be front?
I'm just going to keep moving. So if anyone stops, I'll just march ahead.
Yeah, we should not let Braum be the one that talks to these people.
Yeah, perhaps we have like a Hog or Milo.
Yeah,
So I'm going to say...
whether you guys let me go first, because I'll just keep moving.
Sure.
That's fine.
Hog is going first. Behind Hog, I'm going to say Milo is pretty close behind. And then Braum and Rock are in the back as you all approach. One of them looks like he's a little older. Not older as in like older than the other guy. Older as in like he looks old. Right? Like it's an old looking dragonborn, and the other looks very young. And the old one is kind of leaning against the gate, a little bit relaxed.
Hey, wait, quick question. Not to interrupt you. That's something now that at least Hog and I have seen multiple times, that a lot of times there's an older dragonborn paired with a younger dragonborn. Is that something like with their culture where they pair like that, or is that just coincidence across the groups that we've encountered thus far?
Give me a history check.
Got a 7.
You have no idea.
That checks out.
I would say you're not super
Classic history check.
you're not super worried about the cultural dynamics of Dragonborn per se. Just like where do you hit them for them to bleed the most?
That checks out.
But as you approach, the younger
sorry to
one.
interrupt you again, but I'm really into this now. Are older dragon? I keep calling them dragonborn, right? Dragonborn. Do they have beards ever?
No,
scales.
No. They have scales. The scales.
What are the defining features of an older?
You would see one would be posture, right?
Okay.
Somebody who's gone through a lot. Their bones aren't as strong internally. The scales don't look as shiny. They look a little bit duller. You would also see patches where the scales have fallen off in places because they have not healed all the way over in some places as well. And the skin underneath would still be like sagging a bit. The spines are not as like taut against the head. They're a little drooped because there's not all the flesh around it is not as strong. So it's a little weathered, I guess. It would look like a I don't know if you've ever seen an old lizard to compare it to, but it would be like an old lizard. Like they like sag a little bit around the skin and the scales. Like they just sag.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen an old lizard, but like what you've just given, the frame of reference you've just given me is probably like my only image of an old lizard now.
Well, hopefully that's accurate. But
it's
that's what we're going with.
Now, you guys, please continue. I'm going to Google old lizard, but I'll be here. Yeah.
No, you're in the front of the line, Hog.
I'm here.
The younger one actually is the one.
Okay, now I have to Google really old lizard. Yes, please continue.
The younger one looks and just like, halt, hey, oh. There's 4 of you, yeah.
Yes, 4. 4. Gotta get my character boy. 4.5.
That's disrespectful. And he kind of looks at the halfling and shakes his head.
I'm sorry. That was dragon.
I'm one of the
that
4.
was dragon based racism. I'm sorry.
He's talking about her.
Oh, that's. Huh. He kind of like take like.
Oh, you thought I meant the halfling?
He did a lot.
Oh. Just because. Yeah. No, I see what you.
Half.
I
Well,
can
John would pay to be
I see
racist.
where that might have sounded bad.
Oh, well, state your business. And he pulls up like a pad and he's writing in it.
We're looking to cross the bridge of... What is the bridge called again?
The Bridge of Bouts.
The Bridge of Bouts.
Just travel? You restocking? You stay in the night or you just head through?
Restocking and heading through.
We would like to restock if that is possible.
Excellent. All right, and you see him write down some notes as he looks at you all.
Do you have vacancy in your taverns? Is there?
Yeah, you'll have to check. Here. Once you get on the other side of the wall, there's a map there. You can look at that.
All right, very much appreciated. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
Curiosity, sir. Excuse me, sir. Down here.
Yeah,
little guy.
You're right here, friend.
Yeah,
Yeah, how can I help you?
Appreciate. Out of curiosity, first time crossers of the bridge here. Over on Lorna, do we have to go through this again, or is this a one-time situation here?
Like, are you heading out of Lorna?
Well, we're gonna go through here and then go to Lorna, cross the bridge, go to Lorna, and then we got some stuff past Lorna we gotta go do. So we didn't know if we have to check out again at Lorna or check into Lorna and check out of Lorna. Do we have to check back out of here?
You mean inside
how does
check?
that work? Inside?
Yep.
Where's Lorna? Wait, Lorna is which one?
It's the other side. No, Lorna is down south. Yornal.
Is
Yeah,
that
you don't
Yornal
notice
or
at all.
Laurent?
Yeah.
I said Laurent.
LaRon
Is
James.
Laurent.
No, but
Laurent.
but you, as soon as you look at, you don't notice anything. I'm gonna say Vaga because you have a high passive insight. You can tell that this guy was totally fine until Milo started asking about additional security, and now he's a little concerned. And he's just like,
This is a Dragonborn, right?
yeah. And he just kind of looks and he's like, not really, no. Like, you just head out the other side. Nobody cares when you're leaving. It's just when you come in.
I sort of like grab Milo's head, and I'm like, hush now.
Oh, okay.
Thank you very much,
All right.
Gatesman.
Thanks.
And he kind of looks, and he looks at you, and he's like, and he looks at you, Vaga. He's like, you know, he's not a kid, right?
He can be a little slow sometimes. Forgive us.
Thanks.
And he looks at Milo, and is like, he kind of like, as you all are walking by, heading inside, he kind of whispers to Milo like, hey man, don't let them treat you like that, man. Just because you're small don't mean they should boss you around.
Appreciate it.
That's a very progressive Dragonborn. I'm proud of him.
And he just like pats you on the shoulder as you head on in. So you all head inside, and sure enough, on the other side of the gate is a map of Mesapique and Yornal. And guess what now is time, guys?
Shopping.
Now it's time for me to show to players.
I'm sorry, are we rolling initiative?
Nope, just look inside of your journal now, and you should see the map of Mesapique and Yornal. Yornal.
And travel rules.
Hold on. I think I have to add it manually. Boom. There you go.
Yeah, boy. Oh, baby.
Oh.
Oh, that's a nice map.
That is a very nice map.
So this is where you all are now. And I'm going to drag you all here inside of this. And I think I also need to go to my go.
Yes, sir.
There you go. So this is where you all are now. I'm going to head over to let our stream see it. You all have just come in through the western gate. And you have come across this town. This is all that's around. That's just what the map says. You see the bridge. You see things like that. But yeah, you are able to see the whole town. And you are able to travel as you would like.
Question. We can see, I'm assuming we can see up to the next bridge before the Bridge of Bouts. Or can we see past that into the other city?
There looks like there is a gate on this side of the Bridge of Bouts, but so you can't really see super far past it, but you can see across the river, right? There's nothing keeping you from seeing that. So once you're inside, you're welcome to do what you like.
I have a question. Did we burn those water skins that we got from the camp earlier?
I think you all decided not to keep them, so it probably.
Okay.
Yeah. So we weren't sure.
We can roll for bargains if we want, but actually, I'd like to put a slot on our to-do list to go to the apothecary and ask if they know anything about the poison situation. This potential sort of camp we came across that might have been affected.
Okay, because I was going to go there anyway.
Cool. I mean, it seems like it's sort of like that and the general store are sort of on the same road. So, as we pass by the hovel, should I roll a perception? See what is the hovel like?
Sure.
Yeah, what's the hovel?
As you all walk past, hold on. Let me see.
Take your time. Working hard.
I'm having to switch through a bunch of screens. Sorry, guys. There we go. So as you all begin to walk past, you see the hovel is a halfling-style built building. Looks to be like a single-story building, but it's very wide. It's maybe 500 more or so feet across. And it just has a picture of basically like a hump, but it's hanging from a placard outside. It's just a picture of a hump that looks very similar to the style of this building. Yeah, like one of those hanging things.
Awesome.
Does it look like they'd have alcohol?
It looks, maybe. Everything is kind of boarded up a little bit just because it's cold everywhere.
Don't make us roll for alcohol.
Well, the windows in there for the alcohol.
Ron has to crawl in. He's just Attack on Titan style.
It's not that small. It's not a small building. It's a single story building. Okay. Right? It's just not 2 stories, but it's just like maybe, 11 feet tall. Like normal size. And as you step inside, where are we at? The hovel. There we go. As you step inside, it's a large dome room that is warmed by a massive chimney on the north side. You see there is a halfling woman who is standing behind. She looks pregnant. And you see 4 other halflings that are running around, providing food and drink. There is a bar at the southern side of the building. And she seems to be behind the bar. She doesn't come up to you all, but one of these smaller halflings run up to you as you enter and say, oh, welcome to the hovel. What can I get for you?
I need a drink.
Sure. We got, what do they got? Let me see. We got gin, we got a little bit of beer, and we got mead. It's rare.
Mead.
Well, and he kind of like steps back and is like, meat is really expensive in these parts. Are you sure, sir? And he kind of looks you up and down.
How much?
35 Crag hearts.
Like for how much though?
For a glass.
Like a bottle? A glass. Shit.
We got gin. Gin is 1 Crag heart. And we got some beer. Beer we got from the south. We actually were able to get that imported. So we do have some beer. It's that one's 3 Crag hearts, but it's a little better than the gin.
Quick question: Have we been seated, or are we just walking through the door?
I would say at this point, all of you have probably walked in, and you see him talking to this halfling.
Okay.
What do you have?
Hey,
Notch alcoholic.
Buddy, go ahead and get whatever he wants. I've got it. Don't worry about it. Whatever he's ordering, I got his first round. Whatever it is, doesn't matter.
All right, I guess. And he kind of like, did you want the meat?
No. How much for a bottle of gin?
A bottle of gin is about five Crag hearts.
I'll take 5, and then I just pay. I don't let Milo
You
pay
take
for
5
me.
bottles of gin.
Yes.
Sure. So mark off 25. He just runs over to the bar, and you see that lady who's over there. She's pregnant. She's kind of leaning up against, sitting on a chair, leaning against the bar, and she looks, and she sees the kid like run over, and she's like, and the lady like leans back, in one hand like grabs 5 bottles of gin off the counter and just puts them in front of
In one hand?
Yeah,
You said a halfling woman?
it's a halfling woman.
Yeah.
She just grabs
small are these?
them by the necks, like the necks of the bottles.
That's
Still,
But
impressive.
like 5 bottles of gin? There are only 4 spots between my fingers.
And the one in the middle.
I like how we're all like, dragons? Fine. Magic? Fine.
This lady,
Five
what? No, she
What
just
is
reaches
your
over, grabs,
dexterity
puts it
modifier,
down,
sir?
but immediately
I'm not
after,
fighting
the
her.
guy is like, the kid is like,
Got 20 decks.
and like tries to grab 3 in one hand and 2
Yeah,
in the
you're
other,
right.
and like, and you see the lady is like visibly annoyed, is like, and the kid runs
How do
back
you want to
over
mark
to
those
you all.
on my character sheet?
Huh?
How do you want me to mark those on my character sheet?
Just add item gin. They're 2 pounds,
Okay.
and you have 5.
Yeah, I do.
And he just comes back over, gives it, and then subtract 25 Crag hearts from your silver. And he's like, oh, great. Can I get the rest of you anything? We got cots, and he kind of leans over and he points. In the room, there are just cots that are laid out against the walls. You see there are other people who are here. A couple are sitting at tables, and a couple are just laid out in this one big room. There's a couple that are closer to the fire, and a couple that are farther away. But yeah, he's just like, we got rooms, we got food. What do you all need?
Does anyone look interesting?
Define interesting.
Like clearly the quest giver and an NPC as an NPC, you know what
No,
I'm talking about?
So meta.
that was an insanely meta question, and so no, you don't.
So, how many people basically like in the
About
in the
12.
tavern? Okay.
You
Can I
see
do
there's
a
like
walk
a
around?
mix of mostly dragonborn and halfling is the majority, but you do see a couple humans that are here as well. They're just kind of in the back chatting.
Can I do like a walk around? And the entire time we're in this town and the other one, I would like to keep my ears out for anything regarding the reckoning or like in people's conversations,
Sure.
anything that I can hear about that.
Give me a perception check. just in general, and then if it does come up, I'll let you know what you hear.
Oh yeah, 19.
Nice. Okay. If it does come up, then I will let you know.
Got
But
it.
yeah, you all are sitting chilling.
Let me get 2 bottles of gin. 3 bottles of gin actually myself, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Just for a taste.
Sure. Yeah. Any, can I get anything for the rest of you? He kind of looks at you, the rest of you too.
And with the meat, can we take those out about the city, or do we have to stay in here?
I mean, yeah.
We do have to stay in here.
No, you can leave. I don't.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let me get a meat too. Anybody else want one? I just want to try it. Never been out this way.
I will pass on the meat.
You want
Gin?
one of the meats?
Yeah, 1 meat and then 3 bottles of gin for me. You sure you don't want a meat?
Y'all are loading up on the gin.
I have other reasons for it. Trust me.
Yeah.
No, I'm an alcoholic.
That's my reason.
You're my
Hog,
I make concoctions and things, so it's good to keep alcohol around for dilutions and stuff.
Perhaps a glass of goat's milk, or
yeah. Let's. I'll see what I can find. And he kind of runs over. And
I'm gonna snarl a little bit when Hog asks for goat's milk.
perhaps anything without ethanol. We haven't isolated the ethanol molecule.
No, probably not. No.
Perhaps anything without alcohol.
And you see again the lady behind the counter, as you all are just kind of waiting there. The lady behind the counter kind of looks and like raises an eyebrow, and then looks again, and you see him like she's like, huh, and she reaches down and pulls out. It's a very small bottle. It's like this big, right? And it's basically one drink of this, but it's tied and wrapped and sealed with like a couple of different seals around it. And she puts that on the table, and then she grabs three more bottles of gin.
With one hand?
With one hand, yep. Grabs 3 more bottles of gin, and then kind of like looks. I'm gonna see. Hold on. Yeah, she kind of looks and kind of like reaches and pulls up like it looks like a preserved jam, and she just opens it and puts like a couple spoonfuls in a glass and pours water over it and mixes it.
Can I roll perception on the viscosity of jam? Sorry, that was I don't know.
It's jam. It's jam. It's as viscous as jam. And just kind of mixes it up. And then she like reaches for some gin to put into it. And the kid is like...
I politely wave my hand.
And she's like... whatever. And gives it to him, and the kid comes back over. And he's like, all right, this is for you. And so the mead is 35 Crag hearts. 3 bottles, 5 apiece, is 15, so that's 50 Crag hearts total for you, Milo. Mm-hmm. It's just 1 Crag heart for your soft drink. That has been generated.
Carbonated, but we say soft because it's for soft people.
Right.
Yes, that. And so he's like, yeah, here, and he gives it to you. So mark off 1 Crag heart for just that.
What's 300 minus 1? Okay, there we go.
Oh, did we split up that 250 from earlier? Or no?
The 253 from the camp? You did not yet. Brom, you see a couple of looks.
Couple of looks?
Yeah, just a couple of people who are looking at that shield. And they kind of just...
Yeah, what do they look like?
You see a table of halfling and dragonborn sitting together. And
that sounds fun.
The dragon looks at the shield and then just kind of whispers to one of the halflings, and they just sit there. But I would say, Milo, if you are listening to conversations, you all are just kind of standing here drinking. Milo, if you're listening for conversations, I think this probably would be the only place you'd hear it. But you overhear that same table of people just kind of talking about some news that came from Mesapique. I'm sorry, not from Mesapique, from Almanac. And they're saying, yeah, there was something down there, some messy business with the mayor, and nobody really knows what it is. But they've heard a couple people coming up from Almanac, and it was rough. And the other ones are like, yeah, but the reckoning, that's they had it coming. And it's the Dragonborn who says that.
Dang.
And one of the halflings is like, yeah, but we shouldn't be violent. I still think we should be violent. It kind of defeats our cause. And there's a little bit of discussion about whether or not the reckoning is a good thing or not. But that's basically all you hear. But you do know that news of Almanac has made it here with that roll.
You would say they're reckoning the reckoning?
Yeah, the reckoning. So I'm going to give you all, as you all have been here for a bit, and this is kind of how I'm going to approach this. I'm going to give you all this item. Let's see. Come on! There we go. I let you all edit the main map in case you all wanted to add notes or things. But
I haven't put my guy out there yet.
You're not going to be able to edit these that I'm dropping, but this is the hovel. So now you have that in your repertoire of things that you know about the town. But with your business concluded, where would you all like to head to next?
Hey, can we hit the apothecary right around the corner here? I thought I saw it really right around there.
Let us go.
Cool.
Okay. Go ahead and move you all guys over to the apothecary. And outside, let's see here. I'm trying to get back to us. Yeah. I'm going to get better at navigating this, guys. Just so you all watch.
This is ideal practice, man.
Yeah.
As you all head into the apothecary, there is, it's a smaller shop. It's tiny. It looks like there may be a room behind it, but this one looks as though it is dragonborn sized, right? As you all walk in, you see that there is, the smell of the room is what hits you first. It smells sharp. You smell dried herbs and fruits and dried mushrooms, and just you smell the workings of the alchemist's workshop. And as you enter, you see behind it another younger dragonborn who looks maybe in his 20s, and he leans. He sees you all enter, and he just kind of, I'm going to say probably Milo is leading the charge, and he leans over and is like, welcome to to Lilith's apothecary. That's what he says. Welcome to Lilith's apothecary. I have to get it in his voice, and it's very difficult to say Lilith's apothecary in a voice like this. But that's all right. Welcome to Lilith's apothecary. I'm.
Might you be Lilith?
No, no. I am Colin Aspic. I run the shop on her behalf.
Pleasure to meet.
Colin, I have a question. Recently we were traveling in the wastes, and we came across a party that was unfortunately deceased. It seemed at first that they might have fallen victim to the cold, but upon further inspection, it seemed that they had fallen victim to poison. Is this at all a trend you have noticed recently, or why would we happen across a camp that was poisoned just outside the city, a couple days outside the city?
There's probably some people trying to drink raw water, and he kind of like as he kind of just thinks about because you spend some time describing the scene and kind of what happened, and he says is like. Yeah, we've been finding that recently, if you're close to the river, south of the Bridge of Bouts, and you try to drink any of the water there that you just pull out, you don't boil it, you don't clean it or purify it anyway, you just pull up some of the snow and try to eat it, like, it gets, it's pretty bad for you.
Is it just south or north also?
Just south. Doesn't really seem to be affected.
Downriver of the settlements, then you would say.
Yeah, I would say so. But that's been for a while. We're not really sure why, but a lot of the water south of the Bridge of Bouts is just something about it. You should boil it. We actually have, and he leans over and he says, we have some of these, and he pulls out. There are a couple of vials. He says these will purify water for you. We actually have started carrying them because of how frequent it gets to be a problem.
How many vials? How many vials do we need? Like for how much water? What's the dilution ratio?
You put 1 in 1 gallon. So one of these purifies 5 gallons of water.
So for DM, that would be 5 pouches or 2 pouches.
Basically, it would 4. One of these would be enough to purify enough water for 4 people.
4 pouches.
For 4 water skids.
Fancy metric system. How much are these?
We sell them for 100 Crag a piece. But I mean, that's.
Can I roll it?
That's fresh water.
I don't know if I should ask him first or just roll a perception check and then ask him or insight check. But I want to know. DM, you can just tell me straight. If I know anything about like why exactly is the river south of this particular settlement sort of polluted? Is it obvious? Like are there just bunches of the Bridge of Bouts? Are they just throwing dead bodies in the river? Is that really obvious to me? Or is there something maybe I don't?
Give me a history or Arcana check.
History, okay.
Whichever's higher. History or Arcana, whichever's higher.
They both suck, so I'll roll history. That is a 16.
16. You would know. 16 is actually pretty good. You would know that the humans who first populated the Crag, right? They ended up settling all the way at the top of the river, right? The reason why is because for some reason, even before everyone else was here.
Because humans are dirty.
Well, the river south of the Bridge of Bouts has always been aggressive. It's always been dangerous to be there. No one really knows why. Crossing the river, being on the river, trying to fish the river, all of these usually lead to harm. Engaging with the river south of the Bridge of Bouts, even before Mesapique and Yornal were settled, has always been a dangerous prospect. You know that is part of the reason why Almanac has not done well as a town, because it has not been able to properly fish the river because of that aggression down there. And you can probably tell that's probably why a lot of the halflings were pissed to be there, and the dragonkin were pissed to be there, and everyone was pissed to be there because it's a failure of a town. And it was forced to be there because they just wanted to try to fish the river and prove that they were better than humans. But it went terribly. It's very bad.
Yeah. So I can't tell if it's something specifically with the bridge itself, or it's not like
that would not be common knowledge. But you would probably from that history know that it's not human involvement that is doing it, because it's been like this since the first humans arrived, which is the reason why they moved so far north.
Milo's looking around the shop, just in general.
Sure. I will add. Let's see. I'm just gonna add their list.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
Vago will too. He's a doctor.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that makes sense. And he kind of just walks you around the shop and points out different things that are on the shelves. He's like, well, this is a hair dye. It looks, we have all different kinds of colors that we've managed to cook up here. We got some honey, and he kind of points to this. This is pretty expensive, but it's good, and it's from the Southern Riles. We also got a couple other things here, and he kind of walks through the shop and just shows you around and shows you what they have for sale.
Did I see medicines for dysentery, for like infections, that kind of thing?
You did not? No. I think probably what that would be is just purifying the water that you're consuming, but nothing really that purifies food or helps remove diseases.
Would each of us sort of consume in an average day of walking?
1 pint. One pint is a measurement. A water skin holds 4 days of water. So regardless of how much it is, 1 water skin holds 4 days of water. One of those purifiers will purify enough water to fill 4 water skins.
16 pints in a gallon?
Yes, we're gonna say that. Okay. Whether or not that's true. That's what we're going with.
Yo, leave a comment down below.
Leave a comment down below if, measurements are off.
#metric.
Okay. Metric system, #can't relate. Yeah, what's up? Hi. He didn't say what's up. He says yes. Yes.
Yes. My trade is that of a doctor, a healer. Many times my patients, most of them are halfling, but I occasion dragonkin as well. Oftentimes they come and they are haggard. They are, they lack vigor. It's as though it's like their health has been drained from them. I was wondering if you have the materials to create concoctions to invigorate the body.
We do. And he kind of like looks. He's like, it mostly just increases blood flow, but it is useful for that. It helps. It just helps you feel better for fighting off infections and things like that. It's not much, but it does help. It does have that purpose as well. Here, let me pull, and he will offer you what is listed as the blood flow. It will give you a +1 to any Constitution check or saving throw for 1 hour. It's more for resisting and fighting off infections and things like that, but it just kind of helps your natural body. It's more homeopathic.
Cool. I guess. Yeah. I just now clicked on the thing because I was trying to subtly ask for a healing potion, but the blood flow works just as well.
Does it?
No, but I mean, I'm just talking. Talking, I guess. I only have enough for that blood flowing. I could make good use of this in my trade. It is 100 Crag hearts.
Yeah, 100 Crag hearts. Yeah.
Before Vaga makes a deal, I tug on his shirt and ask him to lean down to me. Hey, let me try something real quick before you actually make any deals. I just want to see something. All right. Sir, so I see you dealing a lot of things. I noticed the anti-venom that you got.
Yeah.
I happen to have a couple vials of pseudo dragon poison. Do you buy things as well, or do you just sell?
And you see his eyebrow like raise.
And then he sees Izzy crawl around my neck and onto my shoulder.
Dealing in poisons is a dark business, friend.
Yeah, well, my friend here is as level as they come.
Vaga, the same sense that went off when he started talking about security outside to the cop seems to be happening in this person again as he brings up poisons that he has.
It's quite a transparent business, actually.
I mean, we're an apothecary. I figured, you deal in anti-venoms. Didn't know if possibly you dealt in the venom itself, or,
My friend here is...
Venoms are useful for creating anti-venom.
Exactly!
I don't see what the big deal is here. That was not a character, I'm sorry.
And you hear from behind him, "Let me see some." And he kind of turns behind, and in the room behind the counter, there's a door that is kind of slightly ajar. And he listens. "May I have a vial? Just to test."
Sure. By all means, here you go.
He takes it with his claws. He doesn't even put his actual fingers on it. He just takes his claws and walks back. And he disappears for a bit. And he comes back. Lilith said she will buy 1 vial for 25 crack hearts per vial.
25 per vial. Well, see, you're selling the anti-venom for 500.
I'm gonna move around. Is it just this guy here? The one shopkeep?
There's still one guy there.
I'm perusing.
Well, you can hear there's someone else in the other room, right?
Oh, is he behind a counter, or is he sort of standing with us? He's
on the other side of the counter talking with you all.
Okay. I'm gonna, under the counter, where he can't see, I'm just gonna casually put a finger when he says 25. I'm just gonna go casually looking around the shop.
I mean, you're selling the anti-venom for 500, but then and the health potions for 500, but the venom itself, you're only gonna pay 25? I mean, no offense, man. It just doesn't,
It takes a lot of work to develop a cure for a poison. You're just pulling
it takes a lot of work to get it, too.
He kind of looks at the creature. And you hear behind him,
"He made a mistake earlier. He hurt himself. It is very common."
You see these tubby hands? They weren't tubby originally. Just saying.
So, help action.
give me a persuasion check. With advantage, I guess.
Yay! I guess. Sad resignation in his voice.
Well, the first one stuck. It was a 4. 21! Not natural, but 21.
Did you say Oh, okay.
I had 4, then 21.
You see, he looks unfazed. As he's sitting there, and he's just like, this is, and then you hear the tapping of wood behind him. He immediately gets worried and looks back, and you see a small halfling woman who looks maybe 200 years old.
Yes.
And she's wrinkled and is wearing a loose nightgown, basically, and she has a hat on, and she comes out and kind of looks at you, Milo. I want 5 of them. I'll give you 500.
I can respect that, man. I appreciate it.
Pay the man. And she just goes back into the other room. And
Instead of paying me, if you don't mind, can you just take it off whatever my friend's ordered for the day?
She's gone. And Colin is like...
I'm talking to him, but...
He's like...
Just give me the change.
Yeah, I can... Yeah, sure. Fine. Give me the poison. And he like... Hold on. And he like gets a bag. He doesn't want to touch the stuff at all. He like gets a bag and like lets you put it in there.
5.
And he ties it up and he just takes it back into the back room and then comes back out. So yeah, you have 500 Crag Hearts worth of credit.
So, Vaga, what were you saying you were gonna get?
Well, I was going to get the blood flow, which is 100. But with 500, if we
Well, I didn't know if we all needed to get at least one water purification. I figured it could help everybody out in the long run, in case we ever need to just randomly have snow.
I do, and I look at everyone. I've told you guys before, but I sort of make it clear again. I will buy one water purification, but rest assured that I am experienced in
Purifying.
I can help with water purification.
And if we are worried, I have ways of determining if we need to use it.
Okay, I'm more than welcome to use the money on something else, but I know how spells work. You know, sometimes you get tired.
Yeah, I'll put up my vote for buying one water purification. What
All
else?
right.
Were you getting one blood flow, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 200.
And
Healing potion seems like a lot.
Yeah, it's
that's a lot for that.
Also, it's a bit meta. D4 is definitely my least favorite die.
I mean, yeah.
I hate D4s.
They're just pointy and annoying.
Yeah.
Really. They're like Legos.
But water breathing.
Water breathing, I was thinking about that. That could definitely be something that's useful. And I mean, honey makes everything taste better. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's true.
How much of a container is the honey?
It's like a jar.
Okay.
It's like enough to have honey for a bit. It is.
For a bit.
Yeah.
It's a ration unto itself. It's spread out.
It would count as one ration if that's all you ate that day was just a whole jar of honey.
No. But you can coat the meat in the honey and then freeze it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you've never been hungry in college and taken a spoon to the peanut butter jar. Come on.
Hey, bro, what happened?
It happens. It has to happen.
See what happened was. Okay, so this might be too much. I don't know, DM. If we were to coat meat in honey and freeze it, would it last longer?
You have to make a survival check.
But possibly it could last longer than if it was just meat.
Possibly,
out.
yeah.
Okay. That was my reason for getting the honey. I don't know if that's gonna help us later down the line or not, but
Honey is good. We should get it.
okay. So there's 3.
We can
you have anything else?
There are other shops in town. We could.
Yeah, we can do that.
Use the money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So yeah, that'll be all. I appreciate it. So those 3, and then just the 200 back in Crag Hearts.
Sounds good. So overall, the entire interaction is just you, Milo, losing 5 vials of poison. But Joe, you get. Hog gets purification. You get 1
I'm gonna
vial.
give that.
Who wants to hold on to the vial of water purification?
I'm gonna give that to Milo.
Okay, Milo, you have water purification vial. Vaga, you have your blood flow potion that increases your constitution modifier, or abilities checks and saving throws by 1 for an hour. And Milo, you get 200 more Crag hearts.
And a bottle of honey.
And a bottle of honey. Yeah.
Thank you for your service, Colin. I start moving toward the general store.
Sure.
Hey, fellas, on our way over there, can I do a check to see if anybody from the hovel follow, like any of the people checking out my shield, are following us?
Give me a perception check.
13.
Not that you can see.
By the way, I did not drink the mead. It's just with me.
Sure. That makes sense.
Okay.
You all head over to the general store. And I'm just going to speed this one up. Inside, you see there's an overzealous halfling. He introduced himself very aggressively. His name is Crumbs Low Reap.
It's a hell of a name.
That's all bad. That's all bad.
And he's just, hey, well, come on in. We got everything. And he's just very excited about the whole world. As you all take a look around, I'm going to add, because there's just a ton of stuff in there, I'm just going to add that in.
Okay.
Yeah. And the guy, as he's looking at you all, he like sees there's a group of you all here, and it's just like, y'all here to check out the library?
It would be interesting.
Library of what, may I ask?
Well, I figured y'all are looking weird, and you got an elf traveling with you. Elves usually come up to see the to check out the study.
An elf?
Whoa! Are you an elf? I thought I'm sorry if I assumed. You look like an elf.
I'm an orc. What?
No, he's looking at Vaga. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He is referring to me, my friend. Yes. I would very much like to see the library. It is over there, yes?
Yeah, it's on the map. It's a Mesapique study. He's up north. He's behind the main keep, but he should be able to, that's where they usually go. What y'all here studying? I always like to ask.
Question. Is Vaga an elf?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a high elf.
Oh,
He's been a high elf
this
the
whole
whole
time.
time.
He looks so orky. Sorry to be like fantasy racist. He looks so orky though.
I look like a
Sorry,
mark.
he's an elf. Got it.
He's like, I always like to ask when people are coming up to study. What are y'all looking for?
I just know more about. I'm interested in the cultures of this land.
I can tell you a thing or two about the people who live here. I've seen all kinds come in through here.
I would prefer to read.
He like visibly deflates. Well, get what you're getting then.
Wait. Hey, real quick, man. I noticed you got a lot of stuff here, and it's great.
Yeah.
Love the excess of items here. You don't happen to have any wood, do you?
I forgot to add wood, but I do have some wood around back.
How much you charge for that?
Wood is, because there was no equivalent for wood inside of the handout, but you all need to have wood be a thing. I'm going to say firewood. Let me see. Because wood is also rare. I would say each use of wood is 10 pounds, and they're 10 crag hearts a use.
Okay. Do we want to each get a thing of wood just to keep on us?
That would be wise.
Okay.
DM, I would.
I would love to. Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say what I wanted to buy. I want to buy a healer's kit and a brass lamp.
Sure. Brass lamp is basically just, it doesn't have any oil in it right now. You have to buy oil. But when it's a lamp, think of more like Genie and the lamp.
Okay. Yeah, I'll get some oil for it as well.
Sure.
So more like a gravy boat than a lamp?
Yeah. Like a gravy boat lamp.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll buy 3 wood.
Sure. Mark it off.
You guys should still all one, but...
I have a question. The side pouch? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it for me that I can see. Just winter clothes, because I'd like to...
Winter clothes.
Sure. Winter clothes is the same. It's the same as what Brahm picked up from the corpse. The winter clothes gives you advantage on checks versus the cold at night.
Okay, yeah. I'll just add that to my inventory then.
Okay. And make sure to take off the silver Crag cards for it.
Right.
Okay, I got a question. The sled, because I don't show anywhere around here that would have anything to pull said sled.
I got some mules.
Pack mule.
How much you talking for the mule?
Where's it listed? I know I had a mule. 500 silver pieces for 1 pack mule.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. I appreciate it. For the moment, let me get a, because I'm assuming the clothes I have right now are not winter clothes. DM.
No, they're not. They're not. Because these are, as you're inspecting them, they're very specially made, and they're extra lined with wolf fur. They look orcish made as well.
Okay. Then I'm gonna get a winter clothes. One thing, winter clothes. I want to get 3 things of whale oil. That's what 150.
I'm gonna metagame here a little bit, guys. None of you have bought food.
Oh no, I get it.
Just a quick reminder.
Would be necessary. Would be necessary.
Don't spend all your Crag cards without, buying rations.
Hey fellas, I have a question.
Sure.
What does the whale oil burn like?
It burns like lamp oil.
So very slow burning oil?
Yeah. It probably not to
if it's thrown on somebody, can burn them.
Like if you put it onto a person and lit it on fire, it would hurt. Because it's oil.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean like more like slow burning oil as opposed to like explosive style gasoline?
It is not gasoline, no. It's not gonna blow up, but it would make an area of fire if you made it there. It would burn as fire for a while. So like you can make maybe not really a Molotov cocktail, but more like it's more similar to that, where it would just kind of break and burn as opposed to blow up.
Okay. So wall of fire-ish versus
Fireball,
right?
But both in much less quantities than either of those 2 spells.
Yeah. So the extra pack does not increase my ability to carry stuff as far as weight. It just, what would the extra pack be for?
to carry more things.
But it doesn't increase the amount, like the weight that I can carry, though.
Nope.
No. Okay.
Sometimes you want to put some stuff in one pack and some stuff in another pack. Like, maybe you don't want to walk around with a giant sheepskin thing wrapped around you that looks super suspicious. Maybe you want to put it in a backpack. For example. But that's up to you all.
I'll buy some rations.
Yeah, you should buy rations, yes.
I'm assuming there's no meat in there. The rations are just bread, mushrooms, vegetables.
Does he have rations?
I think there should be meat there as well, but most of it is bread, mushrooms, vegetables, because halflings are more vegetarianish.
Okay, yeah, I'll 4 silver pieces per day. I'm gonna buy 5 days worth.
5 days worth, sure.
Yeah.
Do we have a general approximation of how far it is from Yornal to the next city south?
To the next city south? You're not sure how big that small place is, but you would know that it's about 3 to 4 days there.
Travel to go down.
3 to 4 days travel down south, and then also what is it? You don't know how long you all are going to be in the mountains down there either, right?
Okay, but it's probably not. It's nowhere near as big a city as where we are right now, basically.
Yeah, this is a big, one of the biggest places in the Crag.
In that case, I'm gonna buy 10 days of rations.
That's what I was about to say.
Maybe a good idea.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. I'm gonna get 10 days of rations.
40 silver.
And you all can buy extra water skins here as well if you wanted.
I do have the one water skin already, right? So
you have one. Yeah. One water skin lasts for 4 days. If you have two water skins, you can reuse the water skin, right? But that means you have to have a fresh source of water around you.
I thought you said we had 5 water skins apiece.
No, you each have a water skin. Each water skin has 4 uses of water. 4 days worth of water in a water skin. Oh. So if you have 2 and you're at a spot where you know you can fill back up, then you know you have 8 days worth of water without any issues, without having to light a fire at night or burn a spell slot, right?
Is each new day we travel like a long rest?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Unless, something terrible is happening. Yeah.
How much would the winter clothes weigh?
15 pounds.
Okay.
Vaga, are you buying winter clothes or no?
No.
Okay.
I'm conserving my crack cards.
Sure.
That I have enough.
Is everybody set?
I'm gonna get 1 whale oil, 1 net. Actually, no, 2 whale oils, 1 net. 2 more water skins.
Okay.
Two oils, 1 net, 2 water skins. I already have rope. Standard rope is 50 feet, right?
Correct. Okay. It's always good to have extra rope, but correct.
And a hunting snare.
Sure.
All right, so that'll run me to 70.
Yeah, you just had a crack heart payday, so go for it.
Roughly, how much would the hunting snare weigh?
Hunting snare. A lot of these items are in the compendium.
Okay,
but hunting snare has a certain weight. Well, we can figure all that out off camera. But yes,
I just didn't want to make sure I was overloading myself accidentally.
Yeah.
I am a half.
You are a halfling.
I'll get some rope, and then that'll be it for me.
So, again, I just like to set the scene a little bit. You just see Milo, and he's like, I want this, and I need this, and I need this snare, and I'm going to add this. Let me get some oil and 2 more water skins. I want 2 more water skins. And he's just like packing up all this stuff, and then Vodka is just like, I want this rope. That is all.
Here's the money, and at that point, like, I'll leave before the rest of them. And I'm gonna take out one of the books that I brought from my home, the one that Milo's been helping me translate, and I'm just like refreshing my memory of like who the author is and like the type of book that I've been reading. And I'm like, all right, I want to find something like this at the library.
All right. You head off, and we'll actually have you go ahead and move your icon over to the study.
Okay.
Before everyone else gets there. As they are leaving, I'm going to say...
ask about the study as well. I think I really do want to head... I'll ask I think in character, I'll ask the shopkeep, like, is there anywhere we could learn about sort of the surroundings? Someone who would happen to know a lot of... Like, would he readily tell me about the study, or?
Yeah, he would say the library. I thought that's what you all were here for.
All right, then I'll head to the library as well.
Okay.
So, I got a question for you. What's in the alchemy poison kit that you're selling?
What alchemy poison kit? He has an alchemy kit.
You got an alchemy poison kit.
Where are you at? Hold on.
Right under the well.
I listed that in case you needed to get more supplies for your poison kit.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But it is an alchemy kit. You can use it like that if you need, though.
It's just a regular alchemy kit?
Yeah. But for you specifically, because you deal with poisons, you could use that in case something happened to yours.
Got you. Okay, cool. That's what I was wondering what it was. All right.
Yep. So I'm going to say Brahm and Milo are inside of... Oh, Brahm left, I guess, too, huh? Milo, you're kind of alone.
He's excited to read.
And the rest of you... Because, Milo, you're just doing shopping. The rest of you head up to the study, and you see... It's a very small house, right? You think maybe only a couple people can fit in at a time, but it's... You all head in, and it very much so has like a picture of a book on the outside. And you see a male and female halfling who are at the front, at like a little desk at the front, and they're just like, "Oh, welcome. We're here to help if you with the local," and she kind of points around, the local library. If you're welcome to look around and see what, if you're looking for something, you let us know and we can help. And you just hear like oh, and kind of next to one of the bookshelves behind, you see a dragonborn who looks a little elderly, but kind of is just like frustrated, and he looks and says, "Welcome to Melthorn's study. These are my assistants. I am Melthorn. If you need to know anything, ask them." And he goes back to looking and reading one of his books.
I will go up to the halfling who's talking with us, and Based on what Crumbs said of getting a lot of elf traffic, I'm going to address her in Elvish.
Okay. She immediately is taken aback and then kind of looks at the other one, and the other one looks back at her. And then you hear, ah. And from the corner, that same dragonborn looks and is like, they don't know Elvish yet in Elvish to you.
That is
common.
Perhaps then you will be more familiar with what I am looking for.
My time is expensive. That is why they are here.
Perhaps, but I assume that they are not privy to the more sensitive works that I am looking for.
They are learning. And you are?
My name is Vaga.
He kind of leans back. You're a long way from home.
Indeed I am. My travels have taken me here, to this place. I take out the tome that Milo's been helping retrieve. I'm looking for material similar to this.
And he takes the book. I know a bit about it. What do you want to know?
I am interested in the how, and this is in Elvish, so if anyone knows Elvish, they are hearing me. I am interested in how they were able to capture Kronos. What were the circumstances?
That is a bit of historical knowledge. I would have to look. Again, my services are not cheap. Do you have the coin?
It depends on the price.
For my time specifically, 500 Crag hearts, and I'll get you the answers you want to know.
I look at my in my pouch with my 73 Crag hearts.
Little moth flies out, paper clip.
Yeah. Right.
I switch back to common. Perhaps we can continue this transaction once I acquire more Crag hearts.
And he hands you your book back. Perhaps. Perhaps their time is more in your price range. And he pulls back up his book and continues reading.
Can I roll an insight to see if I gain any sort of sense of this guy's alignment or?
Sure. Give me an insight check.
Okay. That is a 22.
Lawful neutral.
Got it.
Lawful neutral. It looks like he very much so doesn't particularly care about a lot of things.
Not to retcon my question, that does help. I was sort of wondering, like, can I tell who this guy is for, or is that just not fair?
I would say you would see that he's very much so for himself. Okay. You can tell that he's very knowledgeable and that this is what he is selling, right? His knowledge and his experience. So you get the feeling that he knows what he's talking about, right? Like if he were to look into something, he didn't look like he was lying or trying to trick anyone at all. And he did look a little intrigued.
If I were to ask him a dangerous question, he wouldn't run to alert the authorities.
You probably not. No, like you feel like he's pretty in it for himself, and he probably has had to answer a lot of shady questions in the past. You get the feeling. So, yeah, he's more just in it for him.
I have 2 questions, I guess. So if I do the self-study, how exactly does that work? I pay the 15, I ask you a question, and then I roll with advantage on it?
Basically, yeah. That's it.
What if I want to find something in the library? How would that work? Is that an investigation check?
What are you looking for?
Old text that could have any sort of an ancient map.
That would be an investigation check, but I would let you roll that with advantage if you paid. Because he doesn't let you just peruse his books without paying.
I'll pay the 15 to see if I can do that with advantage then.
Okay.
So, let's go here. Investigation. Okay, 2. You ain't finding shit. Second question.
Wait, with advantage? You got what?
Oh, wait. Oh, that's my bad. That's an 11. We still ain't finding squat.
Nah, probably not, no.
Second question. Are there any books that talk about how the White Dragon died?
You could pay another 15. So basically, this is how this is working, guys. You can pay as many times as you like. This space will allow you to make as many checks as you want, right? Which is rare in D&D, in that usually you only get to make 1 check, right? If you're researching something. Here you can pay to make as many checks as you'd like. You just have to pay for all the things you want to look into.
Okay.
Wait, so can I keep rolling to find a map?
If you pay again, yeah.
I do that. 1 second. Let's go to advantage and do investigation. Dang it. I do it again. Okay, I'm done doing it because I'm wasting a lot of Crag hearts and I'm not learning anything.
What's the highest roll? 'Cause each time you roll with advantage, what's the highest roll?
11.
No.
Out of three sets of advantage appellees. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna do it one more time. I lied. I really want mad.
Wait, I hold up my hand. Wait, Appellees, I sent you a text. Did you get that one?
I did not. Hold on.
Or it's just in Facebook chat.
Milo, this book I was having you translate, I was not as forthcoming before about its purpose, but it is tied in some way to this axe. Whatever necromancer may be out there, whatever force may be, some servant of Orcus I do not know, we must find a way to contain it, capture it somehow. Make sure it does not ravage these lands.
I've never
That's
put
no worries. I appreciate it. I finally had time to think about that dream from the other night. Remember I told you I'd think about it and come back to you. Well, I remember the first one that I had about the Orcus coming through the sky and kind of killing everybody?
Yes, you mentioned that.
I was back. I was back in the same body. I was back on the same stump, and the whole thing happened all over again. Only this time, I think I saw Mehron jumping off a roof to go fight him as he was coming through the sky. He had these big old, huge antlers. He was like 10, maybe 13 feet tall total. Like, and he just like jumped up with a sword and he had a book in the hand. And I just saw this ice and snow falling behind him as he was just like flying up into the sky to face him. But there was, it was the stump. Like I said, the stump I'm always talking about, it had something on it. And, well, I'll wait till everybody else is. I know we're in a study. And I'll look around real quick. How far are me and Vaga from the other two right now?
It's a very small house, so they're close by.
Okay. Hey, guys, can you come for a second? I'd rather not like blurt this out.
I'll go over to him.
At this time, you all would probably see that. I don't think it's super stealthy. There's not. I think Holgram. Give me a stealth check.
Okay. All of us?
Nope, just Hog.
See. That's an 8.
Whoops.
Yeah, we see that.
I slept on the deal.
You all would probably see that he has been quietly talking to this Dragonborn, who is in the room as well. They seem to be speaking Elvish.
Wait, who's doing that?
Hog.
And it's not Melthorn he's talking to, it's someone else?
No, he's talking to Melthorn.
Oh, okay.
I noticing this, I kind of stop and like glance over and nudge Vaga. You know, I don't understand that. You want to go and listen in on that?
I will, and I am intrigued, and I go and I eavesdrop. I'm dropping some eaves.
I think the only eavesdrop that you hear is... I think you would just see the Melthorn point at the two halflings that are behind the desk, and then Hog will look at the halflings and just kind of nod. But that's basically all you catch.
You may have asked information like I did, but this old dragon is cantankerous, does not wish to be bothered, and I don't think any of us have the money to pay him.
That's all right.
That's
all right. Hey,
Yes.
Hey, can you come in for a second?
Yeah, I'll go over.
And Pelly, just really quick, you said the vault of, was it conceited?
Converted.
Converted. Sorry. Wrote it too fast trying to get everything. All right, so I was just telling Vaga, remember the dream that I had before about, what's his name? I forget. Big, ugly, stupid guy coming through the sky killing everybody. Orcus. Yeah. So I had another dream, same situation, everything, but this time I think I saw Mehron fighting him, right? And like he jumped up in the sky, and he had these big old antlers, and he had ice and snow falling out behind him. It was crazy, right? Crazy. So, but then on the stump that I woke up on, I had these there were these runes. I didn't get to read them last time, but this time I finally got around reading them. And they said, Milo, you found it. Like it was my name, like on the stump in the dream. It was like, Milo, you found the 3 Fs. I call them the 3 F cubed. But there's like, excellent, follow, to follow them to the vault of the converted, and then just pass, and then bury the past in the grove, and he'll finish it from there. And that's got to be Mesor telling me whatever we're finding is in the vault of the converted. Like, I think we might need to find something regarding. Have you guys ever heard of that before? And then it was like in the stump, it was like this rectangular cutout, like at the base of it, for like something to be shoved into it. And I never reached for, I never checked the stump back home, but maybe it's the same thing that's there at the stump back home. I don't know. But it was just this dream, and yeah. Oh, and one other thing. He said, I found the 3 F's of the forgotten, the forlorn, and the fool. I don't know if he's talking about you 3 or what.
Well, I certainly hope I'm not the fool.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't say who was who. That was up to Mesor. I'm just saying. I didn't start getting these dreams till I met you 2. I had already met Vega before, so it's got to be a correlation. But maybe we need to look for the vault of the converted, or any history around that.
The vault of the converted.
And then I'll take off running down the aisle.
Yeah.
To
I'd also start browsing
to do a self-study and see if I can find something about the vault of the converted.
15 Crag hearts. Give me
You're muted.
Nope. Yeah, you're right. There we go. 15 Crag hearts, and then give me a history.
History.
Roll with advantage.
Billy, I messaged you as well.
20.
20?
Natural. Yeah. Not natural, but 20.
All right. Give me just a moment. As you all are researching, you spend some time, right? You spend some time looking through, and you all have been here for Brahm to have done like a bajillion checks. As he's been looking through, y'all have spent some time here looking through things. I like whispers, but we'll see. There's a lot of whispers going on. That's fine. I'm gonna put that aside for a second. I'm gonna focus. So if anybody's whisper, I'm gonna focus. Milo, you begin researching, and with this bit of information, this bit of knowledge that would not have come to you in your own mind, right? It feels like it came from somewhere else, but it's a keyword, and you kind of stick with that, and you cross-reference it with dwarven history, you cross-reference it with the location, you cross-reference it with a lot of the information that you all have picked up so far, and you cross-reference it with the name Mehron, and you find there is a passage about Mehron's vault. And you learn that Mehron himself seemed to have been, from just research and things that some people have found about him, you find that he survived the freeze. And a couple of dwarves did, right? So it's not unheard of. But he's the only one that you hear about that has they denounced necromancy.
Survived the freeze was in originally the Crag wasn't frozen, and then there was an ice age of sorts that killed off a bunch of things.
Yes,
Killed all the dwarves
that
off.
would be common knowledge that the dwarves were heard about before, right? But the Crag was frozen, right, by Mesor because of their dipping in necromancy, and all of them were wiped out. As you're doing research, you're finding that the Dragonkin had been, and you can, it's ironic, but you can read all the different languages, and this one would have been written in Draconic, right? So it's like you can read through all. That's probably why Braum was not having good luck, because he was having to like half translate Draconic, and he's like, it sucks. But you can read quite well, and you can tell that the Dragonkin are explorers, right? They take advantage of their natural resistance to the cold to try to investigate the past. And they have actually gathered quite a bit of knowledge. And one of them is that not all the dwarves died right away. And you feel as though this one, Mehron, is one of them. He had ruling... you think he may have been a lord of some kind before the freeze, but had some residual authority or something afterwards. But the big thing that you find is that he did have a vault. It said that he did build some sort of vault to the south. But no one has ever been able to locate it. But no one really knows what's in it, where it came from. But they do know that Mehron is known for being someone who committed ritual suicide to negate his immortality, his necromantic immortality.
Hold it, Mehron?
Mehron. The story you have heard inside this book, the story you hear, is that he committed ritual suicide to remove his own immortality.
But that was due to a necromantic curse?
Well, he was already necromancy. He was already undead, right, for a while. Afterwards, he
immortal.
Necromantically immortal, right? As many of the dwarves were. Huh?
Did he do it to himself, or did someone else do it to him?
You're not sure. You're not sure how all of the dwarves became so entrenched in necromancy. That's beyond time. But he is known to be one that denounced it, and all the records say that he killed himself to remove it.
So he denounced it, but he was immortal because of it.
Yeah. So he purposely chose death. He would not have died naturally, and he chose death in order to denounce necromancy. And how you say the vault of the converted, that kind of matches.
Okay. So he would be considered the converted at that point in time because of he denounced necromancy.
That's what you're getting.
And I explained it to everybody.
And this, just to clarify, this was his axe, right? Like this was his weapon.
Right,
you're pretty sure.
And he denounced necromancy.
Yeah.
You're pretty sure.
And so basically we got to go to his vault, which is in the south. That's what we're looking for in the south.
Yeah, are we all talking about this? Is this?
I think he does. I think Milo is free with the knowledge.
I'll let you guys know.
Yeah. If we are searching for this bridge, and we know, for whatever reason, south of the Bridge of Bouts, the river is it is almost cursed. One could surmise by how violent and just unpleasant the river is. It seems to have a presence to it. That perhaps his tomb is causing something.
See, and that made me wonder, Vaga, because if it's all south of the city, I'm assuming, not so much south of the river, but south of the city, that all this happens, that would mean that if anything, the tomb would have to be, or whatever's happening, has to be underground, under the river. Which means we'd have to go south to come back under the mountains. Dwarves are known for digging, they're tunneling. So what if wherever the vault is under the river Tormag and causing all of this? Just a thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no reason for it to be same river, nothing changes, it just stops at the end of a city. Like, it doesn't make sense. I don't know. I mean, clearly our path is set though. I mean, Hog, you were right. We gotta go north to go south.
Yeah, I'm nodding. That sounds accurate.
Capellis. Could I?
At this point,
Good.
another figure walks in. He is flanked by two other very large humans. One of them, Vaga, you recognize. I'm sorry, not Vaga. Brahm, you recognize. And the other is an orc who is wearing these priestly garments and white wolf fur. And as he enters, he looks. Holgrim! Good to see you, friend. How goes it? And as you turn,
Is this Malfoy?
you see Hog Tresgar.
Say again.
Tresgar.
Oh, Trisgar. Okay.
Does he?
Trisgar.
And that's where we're going to end for today.
Wait. Who do I see?
You see your captain that gave you this mission.
Malfoy?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me unhappy. Can I ready action for next session?
All right, can I ready an action?
Can we ready action all
Nope.
across session?
You cannot.
Huh?
No, DM, we're not done with this game. We're
Nope.
continuing.
You cannot. We are done with this game. It is 5 o'clock,
It's
everyone.
just one action.
And it's metagame time.
Thank you all so much.
Just one.
Boo Pelly's out of the chat. We're metagaming. Forget this.
Fireball.
I guess
We got
Fireball.
another 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes. It's 10 minutes.
Nah, but I think you all got some really good information this time. And you got some supplies. It's coming on pretty well. There's also some things that are kind of blowing up behind the scenes as well that I will need to address. And I did know that Tresgar was in this town. And so you all spending so much time at the library, yeah, he ran into you all. So awesome, here we go. Because you all have spent like hours in the library at this point. Makes sense that he has been here while he's been here. And we will see what he's doing in Mesapique and Yornal, because you all last saw him in the human village up north. So we'll see why he's in Yornal, why he looks like he's being escorted by 2 human guards, and what
Nope.
that whole deal is about. But
We
for
don't need to know
today,
Right, we don't need to know.
thank you all very
We
much.
don't need to know that.
He's a jolly orc. We're gonna go around and sign off. Everybody, please. We're just going to just say your name and what you're thinking about right now, and we'll just give everybody a one-on-one. I'm DM Cheshire Cat. I am very excited to see how the game, like shopping mechanics, worked. That's the first time I've tried that, and it worked pretty well. And now you all have resources for things in case you want to come back instead of me explaining what's on every shelf. You all managed to go to 3 different shops in like one game, which is unprecedented, and you did travel, which is unprecedented. I think time-wise, this worked out pretty well. But now a whole lot more questions are coming up, and I'm very excited to see where this next conversation goes. Trevor, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Trevor.
I'm thinking of one, what we're gonna see on our way south, because it's pretty intriguing to me. B, what Tresgar is doing here, especially if I've seen him before, and C or 3, what we're gonna do with that honey.
That's an important question. Kyle!
Oh, Trevor. So, yeah. I guess the only thing going through my mind is how this isn't Trescar's house and why he's not still locked in it.
Oh, okay.
Next up, Raymond.
Milo was thinking about yanking that axe off of Hog.
Oh, God, no.
Hold on. With his permission to hide it, because Trescar's the one who gave it to him. And we found new blood on it.
What?
So that's what he's thinking right now, is getting that axe from him. As well as the new information as far as what's in the vault. Because, hey, vaults are fun.
Definitely.
This shit getting spicy.
Yeah. And Joe.
It's going to get interesting.
Vaga wishes he was a different alignment so he could peel all the information he can out of this cantankerous dragonborn. Just tell what you know, old man.
Yes.
How Vaga do.
Gross word.
He's also he doesn't know any of these people. Once he learns that it's Tresgar, he's gonna be like, "Oh, are you the new necromancer now? Why did you send him on this fetch quest? This is weird." And yeah,
True.
We can stank you with secrets.
This was nice. I'm excited. I was waiting for you all to get to this part. So we'll see how it goes. Also,
I was like, you guys can ask questions. All right, 459. Here's what goes down. So, you just
next story beat. We gotta go. We only got so many more sessions. This is 3, and I said 3. I said 6. So we're coming on up. We're coming on up, guys.
yeah.
I mean, we all
shopping
we
episode.
all know that a one shot is never just a one shot, and so a 6 shot.
We'll see. I am moving it along. I feel like I am on track. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, we did do a whole city and 3 days of travel.
No, we did half a city.
Technically, it's 2 cities. It's this whole side.
I guess
that was a whole city.
technically 2 cities. Oh, that's okay.
I want to get across this bridge before,
I did too.
On this side of the river. I want to go to bed on the other side, on the orc human side, because I don't want this dragon queen and her bronze knights to come marching over and
we get that.
brings us in our sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, when she was talking to the elementary school, she said a cuss.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to bed on this side. That wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
She did say it.
That wasn't happening.
She hurt that man's brain.
Yeah.
Being the Reckoning? Oh, heck no. We're not sleeping on this side. We're going to this side.
Yeah.
They find me, it's over.
I'm excited. So, I'm gonna end the game, the recording, but this has been great. I have loved every moment of it. This one was a little slower and more information. We still haven't had any combat since the first combat, really, which is strange for D&D, but that's kind of where we're at right now.
I'll be completely transparent. I love the RP so much. So, like, I know we'll have combat again, but if we never have combat again, I'll be totally fine with it.
You shut your mouth right now.
But I know we will. So
I have a feeling next episode will be combat. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm feeling some ready actions we're about to go into place that would have definitely encouraged
We're already
a fight.
setting shit up.
I don't know
Burning
why
hands.
you all would think